Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Beat 40. I'm Richie Babb, along with Mickey Irvin, Frank Lapoli. We're here at the Arthur Ashe Center in Richmond, Virginia, and we're here at the state tournament. And even though it's a state tournament, the big story is the Eastern Region.
Oh, the Eastern Regionals, man, they really stocked it to them. 15 guys in the finals tonight. The Eastern Region has shown that it dominates high school wrestling here in the state of Virginia.
Absolutely. Mickey, a lot of excitement in the air.
A lot of excitement. Been in town all day, and the place is just buzzing about wrestling. Got just about a sellout crowd, and this is some facility, this Arthur Ashe Center. Looking for Great Bridge to finish up strong, and maybe a couple of other people from Chesapeake also.
Absolutely. You might hear in a few seconds as we're talking a little music in the background, Frank. We got a little orchestra going over here. Another story is the Great Bridge Wildcats and their dominance.
Oh, man, Great Bridge, it's not a question of whether they're going to win it. The race here is for second place, and we'll keep you posted on how it develops between Centerville and Western Branch. But Great Bridge has 5 finalists and pretty well could come close to setting the point total for winning a state championships. And the bad news is Great Bridge has placed 6 wrestlers in this tournament, 7 wrestlers in the tournament, and 6 of them are back for next year. So it's not over this year. It's just the start of next year's season.
Well, Frank, that's only bad news if you're not a Great Bridge Wildcat, that's for sure. And if you're wondering, hey, where are the coaches' interviews? We're going to talk to coaches and people all during the match. We hope you'll stay with us. Right now, let me tell you about the team scores. Right now, Great Bridge in first place before we start the final round here. They're in first place with 150 points. Centerville, which was really their big rival, the best match at the state team tournament, they right now have 83 points. Western Branch has 80 points, and we'll keep you updated on that. For Mickey and Frank, stay with us. A lot of big news coming up.
Hi, I'm Lori Russo. If you're looking for a bright and exciting program about Chesapeake, join me on ACC 40 every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Chesapeake Magazine. Each month, we'll introduce you to some of our interesting residents and take you to events happening right here in our city. Chesapeake Magazine is entertaining for people of all ages, so tune in to ACC 40 at these times for Chesapeake Magazine. It's a show you won't want to miss.
As we said, folks, the big story here is Great Bridge High School. And before we get started with the coverage, let's go to Frank, who talked to Stevie Martin and the Great Bridge coaching staff.
The 1992 Virginia State Championships, in terms of who's going to win it, is well determined. Great Bridge has run away with it. They've sent 9 wrestlers to the state championship, and all 9 has placed. That's quite a feat for anybody in any state. Stephen, an outstanding year. Although it's not over, you still got some finals. The question is not if you're going to win, but how many points you're going to win by. But you've had a great year.
Yeah, we've had a very good year, except for our 1 second place showing in Grundy in the Christmas tournament. We've had a perfect season. And next year, we have 6 returning state place winners coming back in this team, so we should even have a better team.
Behind every great leader is a great staff. And first time introducing to you, Chris Smith. Has been with the program a number of years, helped Wayne out, and has been an outstanding assistant. And I know you're real pleased with the team's performance, winning literally all the big ones.
Yeah, the boys worked really hard this year. They deserved all the accomplishments that they've accomplished this year. You know, they've really put the effort forward, and we're dedicated. You know, new coach coming in and everything. They didn't want to let him down, and wanted to prove to him that, you know, it proved to everybody that we had a really good team. Western Branch, you know, everybody knew how tough they were, and they wanted to show that we were even better than what they were this year.
Well, I'm going to put Stephen on a spot right now, and I'm going to talk to you about his new program, bringing the Iowa tradition and the Great Bridge tradition together. What's that been like?
Well, I think he's done a really good job. The guys are in really good shape this year. I think they've picked it up a notch more than what we had in the past. They really they train hard. He really puts them through a lot of rigorous training and conditioning exercises that we didn't do a whole lot of in the past. He's picked it up a notch. He's put in that fight into them that they really, you know, brought in a new thing to the program there.
Well, behind that, I want to bring in at this point the power behind the throne, the athletic director, a guy that's not familiar with wrestling too much, Wayne Martin, the former wrestling coach at Great Bridge. You must be real proud of the staff and the accomplishment that they've made this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Frank. You know, we feel like we've got one of the best staffs in the country at a high school program, and You know, they're experienced. They've been around a long time. There's a lot of experience between these two guys. And, you know, obviously from the results of the tournament, you can see that they're heading the program in the right direction.
Well, Great Bridge definitely knows how to win it. They win it before it even starts. They're the state champs. The finals are here, and there's a lot more to come, so stay tuned.
All right, here we are, boys and girls. We're about ready to get started here at the finals. The introductions of the wrestlers are taking place now, and Frank, it's a packed house.
Oh, man, I got the chills going right through my system here. It's the state finals. It's the show. It's the main event right now. 13 boys will be named the state champion 1992. Let me tell you what, it's an exciting feeling. We've got a lot of guests throughout the state tournament through with you. Wayne Martin will be with us. Some of the coach past champions will be here. It'll be great. And the show gets right off, the championship gets right off with a great finals right from the get-go.
Sure does. At 103, we'll have Keno Shepard from George Miller's his coach from William Fleming High School. He's from the Northwest region. Hey, his record this year is 31-0, but he's got to go up against Brian Miller from Kempsville High School. Of course, in the Eastern District, he's 25-0.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, Frank had a chance to talk to the coach of Brian Miller at 103, Tim Spruill from Kempsville High School.
At 103, my guy's name is Brian Miller, but he's been having a terrific tournament. Things that have been working for him from the beginning is his sweep and his low Smith single, I call it, a little hesitation step and in there low, and he's been having a pretty good success with changing size on his duck unders. And a lot of size with that coming up in the claw, lifting and turking people to their backs, okay? Tonight, he's got Shepard from William Fleming. He's a pretty tough kid. He comes at you. He's got a pretty good low duck. We've got to move his head. We've got to get his head out of the way, and we're just got to go at him because he's going to come at us, and that's what we want to do. We want to go back at them, sweep, keep our stuff, keep him moving, keep him off base with hesitation type steps. Okay. On the top, this guy's tough on top. That's where he's probably his best. He likes to come in there, that spiral ride, and run us in there tight. We've got to clear it out, pinch it off, and get our shrugs. And you know, if he holds it and stays on us, which he may, and then again, he may let us go. If he lets us go, then we got to beat him on our feet.
And here we are, the state tournament in Richmond, Virginia. Richie Babb here along with Frank. And Frank, who's the first guest in Frank's Corner today?
My first guest, and I think it's only fitting that we have the athletic director from the school, and everyone knows at this point who the school is, and that's Great Bridge High School, and Wayne Martin now in the athletic director's role.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Frank. We're going to have tremendous matches tonight. You know, the state championship is always something. It's a conclusion to the athlete season. They've been working long and hard for 4 months, and tonight we're going to see some tremendous matches, Russell.
Great Bridge, a tradition that is a new tradition. Wrestling is just now, in the last 5-6 years, come to prominence there, but the thing about it is it just hasn't been a flash in the pan. You started the program off, and Stephen has stepped in some very big shoes to fill with a mixture of your style, the Granby style of wrestling with the rolls and such, and the Iowa style, in combination with the Iowa style with a real hard-nosed, aggressive combination, and it blended quite well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You know, we still have our technique that we've always been known for. There's no doubt about that. But now, Steve has also brought in this go-get-'em type attitude, and it's like wildfire. It is caught among the kids in the room, and not just the varsity kids, all the way through the program, even through the junior high program.
Well, we've got the finals just about to start, and Richie, we got a big match right from the get-go.
Yeah, we sure do. We talked to Tim Spruill earlier about his wrestler, Brian Miller, at 103 from Kempsville High School. He's just a junior, and here he has a chance to be a state champion. He's 25-0 this year, 38-7 overall. He was the district champion this year, also the region champion. But he's got to go against a guy from William Fleming High School from the Northwest region who's 62-6 overall, Keno Shepard. He was the Salem Ironman Classic champion, two-time the Big Orange Christmas champion, two-time Roanoke Valley District champion, and the Northwest Regional champ. We talked to him a few minutes ago, and we showed him on his interview, and he talked about how important this match is. Wayne, how do you see this match? Have you seen Keno Shepard before?
Yeah, Shepard's a tough wrestler. He beat Darnell and our kid in the semifinals, a great athlete, no doubt. I think what you're going to see tonight is he's going to want to go takedowns with Miller from Kinsville. He knows Miller's superior in the bottom, and the Fleming coach is pretty smart. He's been around a lot. I'll see if Keno gets a takedown, I think you're going to see him release him right away and try to go on his feet.
Well, it's showtime. The match is just getting ready to start. One thing that everyone needs to keep in mind here is that this is the finals. There is no tomorrow. It is no time to hold back. If you see a wrestler that's winning the match and begins to coast too far, it could backfire on him. Here we go.
I tell you what, Wayne, we might mention that the number 3 wrestler in the state was from Great Bridge, Shane Darnell, correct?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Shane's wrestled both these individuals this year. He lost to both of them, but he gave them good fights the whole way through.
Here we are about to get underway. Darnell, as a matter of fact, beat a wrestler he had seen before from Centerville High School.
Yeah, they had a real a great match for 3rd and 4th, and Darnell really put it to him.
You see Miller working off that elbow, and this is interesting to me, Wayne, where Keno has gone to his knees to cut off that opening up of Miller's attack. He's taking his legs away.
Yeah, you notice Keno, he'll get down in a real low stance a lot of times, and before he shoots his single leg, he puts his left hand down on the mat and he tries a sweep.
Well, Miller has been a pretty studly guy in the region, but size-wise, Keno looks a little stouter.
Yeah, Keno's he's a right good size. He made a trip out of Iowa with us 2 years ago to the Junior Nationals. He came within 2 rounds of being an All-American out there, and that was 2 summers ago. So he's really improved a lot since then, but so has Brian Miller. You see right there, Miller's trying to control the elbows and trying to work into some type of a high crotch or inside step situation. Little duck under attempt, but you can see Shepard's really keeping a low stance.
Here's Keno trying to control that elbow, but like you said, Miller's keeping his chin down. Oh, got a nice throw by and picks up, and the referee scores that. Just like being kind of catching a pass in the NFL, you got to have those knees and toes inbounds.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Shepard was real alert then, shucked Miller's arm by, went down low on his ankles, and secured him for the 2-point takedown.
We want to thank everyone in your support of high school wrestling. Here we are at the state meet. We had 6 telecasts, and we couldn't have done it without you calling and your support. Miller does a little high turn in for 1.
Yeah, he gets right out. They're back on their feet again. See, Shepard there does that. Is controlling that head there with his right hand with a good collar tie. I think it's throwing Miller off a little bit. Miller doesn't look like he's quite on top of his game yet. I don't know if...
Well, it definitely looks like he's stifled him. Nice duck under, deep duck under. He should score. Watch for the lift, which Wayne knows a lot right here about.
Yeah, this Shepard kid, though, is a real balance wheel. I saw him earlier in the tournament in the same situation, and he got all the way to his feet out of bounds and never got scored on.
No score yet. He's got to take one of those knees has to hit the mat.
No score.
And he did it.
Yep.
Now, let's see if he scores him 1 for walking out of bounds. He was going in that direction, though.
No, I think they say that, yeah, he's still neutral. They're still both up on their feet. This Shepard kid's got tremendous balance.
He's got tremendous balance. Anyone else would have been taken down.
Yeah, you might mention with 6 seconds to go, this first period almost over. 2-1 is the score in favor of Shepard.
So far, both of these guys have really kept up a high tense pace in this match, and normally those little guys do that. They like to get out there and start mixing it up right from the beginning.
This wrestling state final, by far, is an all-star match from start to finish. There is going to be some fireworks tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Frank. See right there, they just called Shepard on a little caution because he had his right foot in there too close. He blocked off Miller's leg, so he received a verbal caution.
There are 2 referees work the finals of the match. You have the head referee, or the referee that's on the bout, and the assistant referee, and he's to help him with them tough calls.
There's a little head shrug by Miller. He's backing out, trying to control the wrist. He's in deep.
He gets it, dude. Got it the long way. He went the long way, but he scored it in any way you interpret it.
No doubt about that.
And the crowd really seems to be into each match, and that's... Oh! This Keno's a real plugger. He's throwing a lot out, and these guys are both juniors, so probably see them up a weight next year.
Yeah.
The Western Branch, a great... there's that quick duck That quick duck and steps right in to keep it close. Great camera shot. He's got his knee. Watch his elbow. If you can see his elbow, where that elbow needs is behind that knee pad. He's got him stretched out. He's losing and needs to change his head up to the other side. He lost the elbow, lost the move.
Yeah, and look at that. Keno slipped right around him. Hadn't gotten a takedown yet. He's got to take him down to the mat.
Forward. And he's in great position because he is in the center of the mat. He needs to lift him. He tries a Granby to...
Ooh, standing Granby.
For the takedown.
For the takedown, and you don't see that very often.
He almost got taken down, bailed out. He's definitely scored. Now, you saw it. He was about to get taken down. Keno was directly behind him. There's a standing Granby for the takedown. That's going a long way, huh, Coach?
Yeah, that's no doubt about that.
I tell you what that'll do is make it 5-3 in his favor. That'll break a tie that has been going on for about 30 seconds. And we'll put Brian Miller up 5-3.
Richie, I'm so glad you're here tonight to keep us straight because I know Coach Martin, and I can speak right for myself and say, hey, score gets by me sometimes. We like that wrestling out there.
Yeah. You see the Miller kid's doing a good job on top here. He's got what we call an inside bar there.
Right.
He's trying to control the man. An important thing he's got to do here, though, he's got to stay out at right angles or he might get called for stalling.
And that'll be the end of the second period, and the score's still 5-3 in favor of Miller of Kempsville.
5-3. And we're going here into the third period, and it's still anybody's ball game, Coach.
Yeah, there's no...
Matter of fact, I would tend to think the later the match goes, the better it looks for Miller with the... Well, he's on top, though. Kempsville and Great Bridge are very dangerous on the bottom. He's going to have to cut him loose or Turk him. Hell, now he's on bottom, so he's probably... And then he cut him loose, which was very smart by Keno. Now, look for that little duck. A little duck under. Again, that's the only thing he scored with, a little side duck.
Right.
And then step straight in, Coach.
Yeah, well, it looks like Keno... It looked like he was going to get a reversal there, but he let Miller go too soon, and all he did was get an escape. And so Miller's still ahead 5-4 here.
That's a questionable call there. I saw definitely that he reversed him. He was in total control. That might come back to haunt him later.
Yeah, it surely may.
Minute 19 to go in this third period.
If they're going to get in a push and shove situation, I like Keno. Keno is proven he's got a little more horsepower out here.
All of the 103 place winners.
There's a minute 10 left in the match. That's important because Miller has a 5-4 lead, and the time is on his side.
Please have a seat in the chairs.
As it goes down, he comes that much closer to the state championship. Now, he's going to have to let something go.
Yeah, Keno's really getting on him right now. He realizes he's in a situation. He needs to score, and he needs to score real quick here. Ooh, a little duck attempt. Yeah. Miller's controlling that wrist and that arm.
He's blocking out, and I don't know if the referees are going to, how quick they are here, but in the eastern region, if you're defensive, they're going to hit you for stalling. 42 seconds to go. Very important.
Miller's hit a couple of duck unders from this situation.
Yep. That helped Keno. Double stalling call helps Keno. Now all he's got to do is turn it up. We could go to overtime.
36 seconds to go, and only 1 point separates these two wrestlers. Miller's still up by 5-4.
Right. Now Miller is going to try to pull this elbow, maybe some half shots. He wants to make it look like he's doing something. It's a little acting at this. He double dip. Got to call that a double dip. If he can score this match is over with right here, or just lock in there. 17 seconds, 16 seconds.
That's right. All Miller wants to do right now is hold under that leg post, straighten those arms out, just try to hold on for the win.
Stay right there. He's going to do it, too. 7, 6.
Ooh, stalemate situation. Back on their feet.
4 seconds.
Only 4 seconds to go. Well, this is coming right down to the wire. You can tell.
Miller's going to win it.
Ooh, in and deep on the shot, though. Ooh, they never started the clock. They didn't start the clock. They didn't start the clock on time.
1 second.
No, they never started the clock.
Let's get the camera on right.
They didn't start the clock. I can't believe it. There was 5 seconds left in the match, and they never started the clock. The time should have expired.
Right.
Ooh.
As a matter of fact, the clock is stopped now at 1 second.
The clock never started. Oh, this is going to be terrible if they don't realize it.
Terrible.
I don't know if the officials realize it. I don't think the officials realize the clock
Everybody's
never
involved in
started.
this.
They're talking about it. I'm going to tell you something. A police officer just had to run a fan off the mat a few seconds ago.
This match should have ended. There's a police officer next to the scoreboard. Well, hey, welcome to the finals.
Yeah, this is it.
Boy,
The
how
things
about
happen.
How about
Things
that?
happen.
Things happen.
Let's
when
see
you
what's
get to
happening. Everybody's talking about it. The officials are definitely talking about it.
Come up to the bowling
Coach
chairs.
Spruill and Coach Miller, respectively from Kempsville and William Fleming, are both on the mat waiting the referee's decision.
Well,
And I tell you what, both of them are going to have a complaint.
yeah, I think what you're going to see in a situation like that, they've got to come over and ask the head timekeeper at the table if the clock was started in time. And I don't even know if the timekeepers really know what happened.
And I tell you what, Wayne, I mentioned this, the clock still hasn't expired. It still says 1 second.
That's right, it does. Well, there was 5 seconds left, and Shepard was in deep on the leg. Miller defensed him. It appeared like at least 7 or 8 seconds
correct.
ran off the clock.
No
I mean,
question.
there was.
It should have.
I don't think there was any question about how long it
Takes
took.
that long just to score. Well, let's look at Miller. He let the guy in.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
put himself in a bad position.
That's right,
He
that's
just
right.
wanted to, he let him in. He figured, I'll hold the whizzer, keep the guy off, let time run up. Look, that's 1 second left 10 minutes ago.
That's right, yeah.
That's Coach Tim Spruill in the white shirt from Kempsville, a Great Bridge graduate, as a matter of fact, and wrestled for Sandy Gerald at Great Bridge.
Now, they can use no replays, so they can't call on us because we...
Well, not only that, we don't have replay.
Well,
So it's just
it sounded good, though. It did sound good.
Okay, the assistant coach now
Jeez,
talks
Richie, you
to
blew my thing there, pal.
talks to Brian Miller.
Let the folks know that we
Now,
could...
let's see what they're going to decide to do. By the way, the scoreboard still reads 5-4. Scoreboard still reads 5-4 in favor of Brian Miller.
Actually, it looked as though Miller thought it was over.
Yeah.
And kind of let up.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Keno followed through, which, it ain't over
Yeah.
till it's over. It's always better to over-wrestle the situation.
Yeah, that mistake right there may have cost Brian Miller a state championship for
It
him.
looks as though Miller is getting himself ready. I tell you what, maybe they can't give him 1 point and call it overtime.
No,
No.
it's either
You know
going
what
to
I
be
mean?
a takedown or there's going to be
Or
obviously...
have to re-wrestle the 4 seconds.
What we see here is a shot of the scores table. One of the officials from the mat is talking to the timekeeper to see what the situation was with the clock. Well, I'd be pretty
See
nervous
if we
I
can
was
get
sitting
the
there.
referee in and find out exactly
We're gonna,
what happened. with
Mickey's
this.
up in the stands. We're going to throw to him at the end of this match.
And we'll get over and see if we can get a ruling. I'll go over talk to the referee while Mickey's got an interview, a very important interview.
Please to have a seat in the bowling chairs. 119 pounders.
I really don't know what the officials here are still... They're still talking. I guess they're trying to make a decision on what they're going to do right now.
I guess. I'd hate to be in that position.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a referee. You're in charge of the thing, and you can't control the clock.
Yeah, there's
and the
no
clock
doubt
is what
about that.
messed up.
Now,
Hey,
let's go the other way. If you're in a situation, what are you telling the ref? What
Well-
compromise are you coming up with?
I don't know. It looks like here they come. They've got some type of compromise.
I'll
right
tell you
now.
what, we'll know what it is when we see the reaction of the coaches.
We'll know quickly. See if I can get over there and listen.
Frank's headed over. There's no shock.
Yeah, well, it looks like the Shepherd boy's putting his anklet back on. I think what they may do is put them back up on their feet.
You think they'll put 4 seconds back on the clock and let them start
Well,
over?
I think they would almost.
What's going on, Frank?
And I believe that's the correct rule because there was 4 seconds. I mean, technically, everyone in the place knows. Now, the clock isn't. I think this could be a problem later, Coach. You might want to address this. The clock is not really located where it's advantageous to the wrestler.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Apparently, they're going to let them wrestle for 1 second and rule no takedown.
I'm surprised they didn't put the 4 seconds back on the clock.
I tell you what, the crowd's upset too now. And there we see Coach Spruill from Kempsville.
I think that would be a fair compromise, is put the 4 seconds
Put them back
on the
on,
clock.
and let them blow the whistle, and let's see what happens.
I
Well,
mean,
even if they do that, though, still Shepard's going to feel, that he was slighted.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
I mean, somebody is going to definitely feel like they were done wrong. And now there's a do you know that guy, the tournament director?
This is Vic Blue, the head of the officials, and the head of all the rules. And he doesn't come out on the mat unless there's something going on here.
Well, there's something going on here for sure.
Let's see if we can't.
Yeah, Vic,
see it.
Vic is our interpreter as far as rules in the state of Virginia. Not only that, but he's just been voted into the national board. So there's only about 8 of them in the whole country, so he's one of the 8, and they're the ones who make the decisions and make the rulings as far as rule changes and things.
So if anybody can figure this out, then Vic can.
Well, hopefully if Vic saw the situation, he should be able to.
The sure thing, I mean, obviously the referees are in a position so that no matter what they do, somebody's going to be upset about it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Frank has been over now, and they are going to put the 4 seconds back on the clock.
I have with us Vic Blue, is the head of all the rules in Virginia. Vic, they're going to put 4 seconds back on the clock.
Bad time wrestling. Under the rule, you can ascertain what is bad time. And if you can ascertain what the bad time is, you put the time back on the clock and start them from there. Erase anything that happened previously.
All right, that's
go.
the main guy.
Hey,
that's the guy right there.
That's a talking rule book right there.
That's it. Vic Blue is the law. And so they're going to be 4 seconds. Okay, now what does Keno got to do?
Well, I think Keno's got to do exactly what he did about 10 minutes ago. I think he's got to get right back in there real quick and try to hit Miller, probably low in his ankles. Miller's going to, I think what you're going to see, Miller's going to get down good. You can guarantee he's going to be an intense young man for the next 4 seconds.
Right, he needs to not even back up.
No, he can't, because he's been called for stalling already. Both of them have.
I mean, with 4 seconds to go, and needs to, well, like I said, welcome to the state finals. I think this sets the tone. And what you're going to have is we've got regions against regions here.
3, 2, 1. That's it. That's the end.
There it is.
The state champion is Brian Miller of Kempsville by a score of 5-4.
That's too bad, because he really did win this thing outright 4 seconds ago. And you can see Keno's being a drill gentleman about the whole thing. I think that's great. And we're going to try to get a word with Brian Miller a little bit later. And we're going to kick to Mickey.
A minute. We're going to... let's go to Mickey Irvin.
I'm up here, fellows, with Ron Mikowitz, the father of Adam and Aaron. Tell me what's going on in your mind right now.
Right now, it's, well, they're not going to wrestle, first of all.
So you're pretty confident.
I'm not worried about it. You know, we decided, and the family and the boys decided that we would, if they got to this point, they'd just default. And
you've got to be awful proud of those 2 guys down there tonight.
Yeah, sure. All the friends and me especially, and my wife and our family, you know, we're real proud of them, you know, to get this far. And you know, they're here. What else can they do?
Now you can say you have 2 state champions in your family, which indeed you do. Back down to the floor, guys, and let's watch these 2 state champions. They deserve to be here, and they're here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Frank, Adam and Aaron Mikowitz, they won't really be declared co-champions. Rather, they'll both be second-place wrestlers.
Yeah, but that's just,
officially.
That's just calling a dog an animal. Right. I mean, it's a dog. You know, these are the state champions, and these state champions, in my mind, and everyone else that knows sports this year, is Aaron and Adam Mikowitz. They are the 2 best wrestlers in the state.
Yeah, I think they proved that during the course of the season. They wrestled hard. They've beaten everybody.
Yeah, they are right there. There it is. And they're going to go out on the mat and go through the formalities of a double default, I think. We could be proved wrong.
Yeah, we could be
All
wrong.
of us could be looking real silly, but it looks like they've discussed it with Vic Blue. They're going to shake hands, and they're declaring that they are not wrestling. And then that is exactly what's happening. Second match, controversy at the 1992 state championship. And if you look around, everyone is giving these guys a standing ovation.
I'll tell you what, Frank, let's go on now to the next match at 119. We'll see Morel Elam from Manchester High School against Jason Denton from Indian River. Frank had an opportunity to talk to Jason's coach, Craig Blackman, earlier, and let's hear what he had to say.
Jason has to wrestle like he's been wrestling the entire tournament. He scored 50 points in the first 2 matches of the state tournament. Had to fall the next match. He's got to keep offensive. He's got to be aggressive and let his power, his explosion, his technique all come out and not hold back at all. He wants to win. He's going to win.
All right, we're about to get underway now at the 119 weight division. We'll see Jason Denton from Indian River High School, the Eastern region, who seems to be dominating here against Morrell Elam from Manchester High School from the Central region. And hey, I'll tell you what, Elam's overall record, 111-28-1, 33-1 this season. The overall record for Jason Denton, 102-16-2.
Both of these guys have won over 100 matches. Everyone says that Jason Denton is probably the best prospect, one of the best senior prospects in the state. He's ranked nationally seventh in the nation, and Jason Denton is a fireball. He's blown everybody away in the tournament so far this year, Wayne.
Yeah, he's had a great year. He's had a great tournament. But I tell you what, Frank, this Elam kid, this is not someone to look past. I watched him a little bit during the course of the tournament. He's got excellent technique for a Central Region wrestler. He's real explosive, does real well on what we call an outside cradle, and as you've seen from some of our previous telecasts, that outside cradle is a deadly hold, one of the best holds in wrestling.
No question about it. I like to call the cradle the great equalizer because it doesn't matter how good you are. Once it's thrown on you and throw over, baby, it's over.
Yeah, that could very well be.
This was too bad that first match had to end the way it did, and then we followed right back up with a very quiet match.
yeah, that 12-pound match. It was kind of funny because at the coaches' meeting on Thursday night, they notified the coaches in that the Mickowicz boys probably wouldn't wrestle if they did meet in the finals, but at that time they say they might both be co-champions. But I guess since then they decided the ruling would be a double default.
Very unique situation, and we're going to get Mickey is going to have a word right real soon with the Miller, who is the state champion from Kempsville, and get his thoughts on his particular match, and then we're going to roll real quickly into the finals.
We might mention here that in talking to Craig Blackman, he said that what Jason Denton has to do is to continue to be aggressive, that his most power is his explosive power, and he's got to use that early and be aggressive.
Yeah, you'll see Jason. Sometimes Jason likes to go a little upper body, too, and he's really pretty good at it. During the course of the year, we've seen Jason wrestle many times, and what he's done is
At 119, Jason Denton.
What he's done at certain times is that he's worn his opponents down.
Now we're going to kick over to Mickey.
Got the state champ right here. Tell us what was going through your mind in the last few seconds when you had to do it over again.
I was scared. I didn't know if I could hold him off again. I wanted to. I wasn't going to let him get in for anything.
Well, don't have to be scared anymore. We're talking to the 1992 state champ right here. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks.
And there's Brian Miller at 103 after that controversy in that first match.
Here we go. Watch quick because it's all going to happen fast. 2 fireballs right here.
Ooh,
both kind of built the same. Oh, he's got that inside cradle. Ooh, what? Oh, and nobody scores anything. Listen to that.
What a flurry. That was a tremendous flurry.
And it isn't.
And here
Jason's in on the same situation, same move. Let's see how he can do it. And he hasn't scored yet either.
No score.
Both.
He's looking for that Turk situation.
He got it.
And
Jason converts. They both had exactly the same move, shot to exactly the same side, but Jason Denton comes up with 2 points.
Yeah, Jason just got a little bit better balance and a little bit more power in that one situation, it looked like.
So that'll make the score 2-0 in favor of Jason Denton with just inside a minute and a half to go in the first period.
There's Denton in a lift situation. As the Elam kid stands up, Jason's trying to slip around to the front.
Watch his foot. Watch if you see deep switch. We'll see. It'll happen again. I'm going to show you how he's going to defense against that. How do you defense against these things? It's not real. Doesn't look like a lot, but as Wayne will tell you, just putting your foot and being in the right position completely shut down a big move.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You have to know where to situate your body and be in correct position. you'll see that most of these wrestlers tonight in the finals, they never get out of position. They always stay in position.
Look at, these are 2 fireballs. Look at Jason Denton. He's going right after the fall, and he scored 50-some points in his first 2 matches.
Yeah.
Hey, he's on the wrong team. Does he play basketball? Call him Air Denton.
Let's see what the... Elam tries a little inside leg stand-up. Looks like he tried to switch. Denton's slipping around to the front there, controlling the hips.
Big step, big step.
This is what we call a Turk. He slipped up into a Turk. What he's got to do now is pinch those thighs, which what he's doing.
Watch his foot. Watch those little stripes on that foot. As that goes, he goes, and he's putting him...
He's got him right over in that Turk situation with a nice cross face. He's taking him over.
He's got the 2. He's pinned. He pinned him.
He's down there close. I tell you what.
23 seconds.
This by far... and there's some great wrestlers in the finals. Could be the outstanding wrestler in this tournament right here, only because of his sheer dominance of the tournament. And he's just cranking them.
He is. He's in good position right now.
8 seconds. 7.
Let me tell you the bad
6.
news. The bad news is that Elam is a real strong guy.
That's the end of the first period at 119.
Why would that be bad? The bad is he's not real flexible on his back.
That's right. That's right. A lot of times you get these kids that are real muscle bound and they get caught on their back and they can't come off that situation.
It's like turning a turtle over on his back.
After the back points were awarded, it's 5-0 in favor of Denton. I'll tell you what, he's used to scoring points. As you said, he won by technical fall on a major decision in his 2 earlier bouts. And here he is now with a 5-0 lead into the second period.
What did they go? Neutral, neutral second period. Now, you have a choice. You can either pick top, bottom, neutral, we're standing, or you could say, I don't want to choose it all, let the other guy choose.
That's right.
Ooh, lateral drop. He caught him leaning.
2 more points for Denton there. That'll make it 7-0, or rather 5-0, and now he's getting some back points and, of course, trying to get the pin.
He is just having fun out there at this point, and that's the way it's all about.
This is a great
this is a great one here. You are a treat, and he's where he needs. He's in a shine. It's over. He's decked.
That kid he's got it tight.
There it is.
There it is.
First period. Second period. Jason Denton, the state champ, second last year.
Yeah, he paid his dues a little bit during the last 2 years, and now he's finally won the big one, Frank.
Well, he's going to win a lot more. He's got the body style. He's got it all to win it and win it repeatedly, and now he goes on to the college level.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we go down to 125. We'll see Morrell Reeves against Tommy Clater. First, let's talk to Morrell Reeves' coach. Frank had a chance to talk to Terry Perdue of Western Branch, and he asked him what Reeves had to do to win at 125.
Frank, I think what Morrell has to do is wrestle his match as he's been doing for the last 3 weeks. He's been on. His best position is probably on top, but he's awfully strong on his feet. I think his duck under, his outside single, and his high crotch is his key. I think he can get in on the guy, score his takedown, gets in the top position where he's really tough with that spiral ride and half, and I think that's his key. I think he can crank him. If the kid tries to turn in on him, I think he's going to pin himself. And I think most of the people that's ever scalped Morrell knows that you just don't turn in on him or roll him because he'll stick you with that half. And I think that's the key, and I think he's going to come out. His opponent is the kid from Stonewall Jackson, Tommy Slater, and I think he's a real good challenge for Morrell. I think it'll be an interesting match, but I think Morrell will come out on top.
Frank was pretty busy before the match started. He also got a chance to talk to Bill Cameron from Stonewall Jackson about his wrestler, Tommy Clater, who we'll see on the mat in just a few moments.
The whole tournament, we have kept Tommy on his feet. Tommy's tough on his feet. For him to be successful in the finals, I think he's going to have to get the first takedown. Probably in this special case here with Reeves, cut him. Our goal is to end up with a 4-1 lead in the first period. Maybe that sounds too choreographed, but that's our goal. Ideally, we'll have our choice in the third period where we have the option of going neutral again. Yeah, you know, if we get to that point and we don't have that option, the match is going bad, to be honest with you. We don't want to have to take down on Reeves.
I've talked to a lot of coaches on this particular matchups, and all the matchups have said, hey, what are the close ones? The coach, they picked this one, Wayne, as a toss-up, as you did too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Both these individuals a really kind of evenly matched. I think the Reeves kid may have a little bit of an advantage because of the leverage that he's got. That's something that you cannot, you don't ever want to give up that leverage position. And Reeves has been in the state tournament before. He was a third place winner last year.
Hey, I'll tell you what, even though they said the Mikowicz brothers would both be in second, they are both standing on the first place podium.
Yes, they are that, and that's where they deserve to be right there. They are the state champs. They can't, look at them. They're trying to, like, leave a little space in the center for somebody else. Sure.
I don't know who it would be, Frank.
There it is. There's Bill Cameron mentioned that they're going to cut Reeves loose a lot. Now, here's Mickey Irving. I think we're going to get him. We're trying to get to him, and I don't think it's going to happen.
It doesn't look like it. But he's over there ready. He's stationed.
But as Coach Cameron said, that watch for Clater to cut him loose. He said he needed a 4-1 lead at the end of the first period for everything to go his way. Now, and you've got a lot of experience in wrestling, Morrell Reeves, he's dangerous.
Let's go down to Mickey Irvin, who's on the other side of the mat. Mickey?
All right, Jason, you've done it, what you've worked for all year. You got the state championship. Did you think it was going to be quite that easy?
No, to tell the truth, I didn't. I felt like he was stronger than me, but I could outmaneuver him. And I guess I tried as hard as I could, and I finally did it.
He tried as hard as he could. No surprise. Jason Denton, state champion in the state of Virginia in 1992. Congratulations, buddy. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mickey. Back now to the mat here. We'll see Tommy Clater from Stonewall Jackson against Morrell Reeves from Western Branch High School, of course.
Spider-Man right there, Morrell Reeves.
And, we've seen Tommy Clater before. He came in third place at the Deep Creek Tournament this year. He was first in the Parkview Tournament, first in the Raider Invitational, seventh in the Greco-Roman Grand National Championship, and, of course, a Northwest Region champion.
He was good. Now, what he's got to watch out for here is just not getting sucked into Morrell's leverage, Wayne.
Yeah, good snap down attempt there by Clater. You see, he almost got around Reeves, but what happened is Reeves just stuck that long arm out there and caught him, and he couldn't complete the hold. And as you see, they come up in a neutral situation. They're back to the center of the mat. About 1:20 left in the first period. There's a single leg shot by Reeves, but Clater's really dropped those hips back, thrown those hips in, blocking him off. Reeves needs to get up off his knees right there in that situation. You never want to get caught down on your knees on your takedowns. From in here, Reeves does what we call a real nice little duck under. He's kind of dangerous in this situation.
And he's just kind of keeping him close because he's got all that leverage to kind of like, put the old octopus move on him. You just kind of suck him up and stop his motion, just kind of like wrap him up in a web. If you can just make it clumsy for him to do, he can go ahead and get him in the position that he needs for him to be in. And Morrell's a great rider, so he's got to take him down, though.
Yeah, I think Clater definitely needs to score on his feet. There's no doubt about that.
Remember what the strategy is. 4-1 at the end of the first period, but there's only 29 seconds left. They'd be happy at 2-0.
Yeah. Clater's really doing a great job of controlling Reeves' head and snapping him down, but he's not penetrating afterwards, and he's not being able. He hadn't spun around him.
Well, he's definitely doing all of the movement here and doing a lot of the work, but he can't make a mistake because it only takes a second. Morrell's got a great cradle. He is a cradle. He's a walking cradle.
Yeah. I tell you what, Reeves really looks a little tight to me, Frank. I've seen him before in this tournament, and he really goes after the guys in the first period. But it looked to me like he kind of held back then. Sometimes it takes these guys maybe 2-3 minutes to really get warmed up before they get going.
It's kind of like the boxer against, the boxer against the slugger here, and I got to look at Clater as the boxer, and in that first period. And Reeves as a slugger, just kind of hanging in there, forward motion, not a lot of movement, but he's riding him well. You got to break his hips down. And
yeah, Reeves chose the bottom position here to start the second period, and Clater's doing a good job of riding him right there. He's got to watch out though. He's kind of staying parallel to him, and he might get hit for a stalling call here.
Right, stalling. You got to go up and try to pin the guy all the time. Watch his hips. Clater's that red uniform. It's his back there. And he's not in good position there. That was a stupid move.
Yeah,
you see that? That was that octopus in him coming out right now. Look at that. Old Spider-Man. he's got his head in his leg and about a 7-foot wingspan right there. Referee Ray Bousman from the Eastern Region called a stalemate.
Minute 7 to go in the second period, and Frank still no score.
Yeah, I think what Clater's doing a pretty good job of riding him, but I think if he drops down in that low single again, they're going to hit him for a stall.
He's pinned him.
Ooh, here's a
They got him roll. He's got him. There's Wayne. You know a lot about this.
Yeah, that was a slow Granby that Reeves did, but Clater's got him in a, looks like a figure 4 right there. Yeah, it was a legal hold, but they just called it potentially dangerous.
I tell you what, that saved him because Reeves was in the reversal situation right there.
Yeah,
Slater changes sides. He's got to keep it close now. Watch his lanky switch, real slow, scoot the hips out, and switch, and there it is.
He slipped around.
Right. Right.
Reeves is really tough. There it is, a 2-point reversal for Morrell Reeves.
That's the first points yet, and we're only 30 seconds to go in the second period. That'll make it 2-0 in favor of Reeves. Coach Terry Perdue working on trying to get a state championship here for Morrell Reeves, who's been here before, as we mentioned. Morrell Reeves third in the state in 1991.
Well, Clater's coach, Bill Cameron, said if he has choice in the third period, which he's due, they were going to pick neutral, but I don't see how he can with a losing 2-0 unless he can go ahead here and at least get 1 point and then push for the stalling call here in the third period, but he needs to get 1 to make the game plan work. With 10 seconds to go, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think
Reeves is hanging back.
I think Reeves is so good riding on top here. I think Clater may take neutral in the third period because all he needs is a takedown. It's a tie match. That'd be enough to take it into OT.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what he does. Yeah.
Neutral.
He wants to be up on his feet, Frank. He feels more confident on his feet and on his takedown. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see now. Reeves right now can't hold back. He can't be thinking it's 2-0 because this match is only for Morrell Reeves. If they can win now, if Western Branch does win, that will double Stalin. And let me tell you, the referee out on the mat doesn't fool around. He's a policeman, so he's not afraid to make the big call.
That's right. Ray calls him the way he sees him. I tell you.
And quick. So and now that was good for Ray to do it because he got the Stalin call right out beginning of the period. It puts him in position that if anybody sits back on his heels, he can hit him.
That's right.
Right. So he set the tone for the third period. Let's go. Oh, big. See that long, lanky reach.
Long, lanky reach there of Reeves. Clater really needs to start picking up the pace.
Oh, he nailed him. No hips.
Yeah.
He's not going to score it at all. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get taken down. Yep, sure did. It's over, baby.
That'll make it 4-0. Minute 10 to go in the third period.
Frank, that was a perfect example of that leverage that I was talking about earlier in the match where Reeves has, where a normal wrestler probably would have gone over and probably gone to his back.
Right, but he got that leverage here. He can untie his shoe with one hand and scratch his head with the other.
This is really great, though, to see someone from the Southeastern District here win a second state championship. We've already had one here with Jason Denton.
Well, it's not over yet. There's 42 seconds to go, and what we've seen from the first 2 bouts, that anything can and will happen.
At least the clock's running now.
Yeah, they've got that clock running this match.
1 point will be awarded for stalling to Morrell Reeves. That'll make the score 5-0.
Got 31 seconds here left in the period in the match.
That'll make it 5-1, or rather 4-1. Still in favor of Reeves, but the stalling was against him.
Reeves is working up to what we call a spiral ride right here. He's got a nice deep half Nelson in. And he scores a lot from this one situation right here. He's really up there cranking hard in that half. He's almost taking him over. It looks like he is. He's getting a count. He's getting back points from this situation right here.
I don't see it.
3, 2.
He went it big.
Right over to his back.
And he'll award 3 back points for that. So that'll make it 7-1.
7-1, our champ. Morrell Reeves, right there, state champ. Wins at 7-1 score.
Not only that, Frank, but with that victory by Reeves, that moves Western Branch up 1 point ahead of Centerville to second place in this tournament also. So that was a big, big win right there for Western Branch High School.
Get the champ right there, and we're going to get a word with him.
From the 119-pound standing. Sixth place,
There he is as he signs. And here he comes as you see it, and here's...
Let's go to Mickey Irvin now, who has Morrell Reeves of Western Branch.
Tough match. You got it. You got the state championship. The guys at the table thought you used your leverage exceptionally well. Did you think that was a key?
Yes, it is. A lot of people have trouble because I'm taller than them. I can use my height against their strength. I'm not that strong, see.
I'm just going to ask you a tough question now. What's it feel like to be the state champion?
Feels good. It feels like I'm true champion I am.
There we go. Back to the table, guys. Congratulations.
Hey, that guy sounds like Muhammad Ali to me. Did you hear him talking?
I'm the champ. We're so crazy.
Hey, I tell you what, we're getting ready to go into 130-pound weight division now. We'll see Brett Thompson from Western Branch against Chip Collier from Cox High School. Frank had a chance to talk to Gary Hartenoff, Chip Collier's coach, a little earlier about what Chip had to do to win the match.
Well, Chip's wrestling Brett Thompson. He beat him in the Christmas tournament in overtime on a stalling call. In order for him to be successful in this tournament tonight in the finals, he's going to have to go out there and get some points on the board, because if Thompson keeps it close or is ahead, he doesn't wrestle. He'll claw and hold on, and that's why he got called for stalling the last time. It was a 1-1 match or a 1-0 match. So Chip's got to go out and open it up and make some flurry situations happen and get some points on the board. If he gets points on the board, it's going to change the whole tempo of the match. It's going to force the Thompson kid to have to wrestle, and that's what we have to do.
And Frank, as usual, was all over the place. He had a chance also to talk to Terry Perdue, Brett B. Thompson's coach from Western Branch, to find out what he had to do to be a state champion.
Well, Brett's going to have to be aggressive on his feet. He's really tough on his feet. He's got a good low single he likes to get in on. I think that's his key to getting in on Collier. Now, the two met back early part of the season, the Western Branch Invitational. That match went into double overtime, in which we lost on the stalling point. They hit Brett with stalling. The match was automatic over with. I think Brett is really hungry. He's been very aggressive. I think he's determined. I think that he will win this match for us. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be close probably, but I believe Brett will pull it out in the end for us.
Just about ready to get underway now, the 130-pound weight division. You see there Chip Collier. We've seen him before, Wayne. We saw him have a pretty good showing in the regional tournament.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. These two gentlemen here have hit one time this year, and that was in the finals of the Western Branch tournament, and it went into overtime, and Collier was declared the winner in the tiebreaker of overtime by a stalling call against Thompson. As this match progresses, Thompson is great on top. He's really, really a tough rider on top. But what happened in that situation back in December is he got hit for a stalling on top because the referees said that he wasn't working out to the side and he wasn't working towards his fall. But I think this could be a tremendous match up here.
Chip Collier from Cox High School. Cox has two finalists, but I tell you, I like Chip Collier in the finals. I don't know why. A little stronger than McFadder, who was second in the state last year. He's not getting off to a good start, I tell you that. Scores a quick 2. It's like a little sweep there, Wayne, but he finished it off with a little like a double leg pinch almost. He had a little angle on that.
Yeah, Thompson hit a nice knee, what we call a knee pull single there, and he finished up low, Frank, by reaching over there and grabbing that far ankle. Jumps out to an early 2-0 lead, and that's great for Thompson to get an early takedown like that.
Really is. Chip's a real banger. You know, this could be one of them high-scoring matches.
What Collier needs to do here, he needs to get off this bottom situation, because Thompson will really, really ride tough on top. Really tough. He's had a great tournament so far to make it all the way to the finals
here.
It's
his arm bar. You're going to see if he can reach under there and get his wrist and then go to that far side and tilt. See him reaching? See him reaching over there? Didn't get it. Now, he gambled there, and it lives Collier. He's got that claw that you guys are calling.
Yeah, he's got that claw hole right there. He's trying to ball him up here, drive his head down to his knee for a false, what we call a far side or a false cradle attempt.
Right. He's got all these names that you're going to be hearing, and a lot of the names are descriptive of where you have to be to do the move for the wrestlers. The claw, clawing across the guy. Some of them don't make any sense at all, and they're just named after wrestlers.
That's right.
You know what's interesting, guys? I just looked across the mat over there, and not only are the Cox High School cheerleaders cheering, but all of the Beach cheerleaders are cheering on the champion from the Beach District.
Now that they're going to see some real friendships here. That kind of, they got then it's going to be all the regional cheerleaders against the other regional cheerleaders. So it's going to be fun. I tell you, we're looking at the score. I think that Western Branch has just snuck into second place by that 4 points, and now they've got to hold on to it. That puts them in the lead by 1 point.
Right, over Centerville.
That's right.
Tell you what, we might also mention all of our champions so far from the Eastern region. We're bound to have another one here from the Eastern region. So far, of course, we had co-champions, if you want to call them that. But so far, all of our champions have been from the Eastern region, really dominating thus far.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Looks like someone got maybe a little blood on the mat there. They've got the water boy out there cleaning it up there, doing his duty.
That's right.
There's a good shot of Brett Thompson there.
This is a big moment. Steve, Wayne, you won a state championship as a coach and as a wrestler. And I want you to think back to your wrestling days. I'm kind of proud to say I saw you win your state championship. I was coaching. I didn't have to coach against you that night, but it's a big moment. And you don't forget about this. This is a moment that lives with these kids forever.
Yeah, this is probably the highlight. For some of these kids, this may be the greatest day of their life, winning a state championship, because this is something that they probably dreamed about and worked for, and it's been a goal they've had definitely for several years.
They have a lot of people to thank for it, but actually they're out there winning it themselves.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one sport. That's a great thing about wrestling.
And there's that cross-face cradle. But see, the score is real close. I mean, physically and time-wise, Thompson is dominating the first period, but it's just 2-0.
That's right. Collier is definitely the more physical of the two, and he's an explosive type wrestler. So, all he needs to do is get in an explosive type situation, and it could be big points for him.
There's a cut through. They'll try to cut him off, and Collier just slipped down to the ankles and tie him up. But Collier's not looking real good here. He's he's been placed in a defensive situation the whole match. He's trying to catch up.
Yeah. Right now, Collier, what he's got to do, he really needs to take control of this match in the top, have a good second period, try to work into a scoring situation on Thompson if he can. One thing he can't get scored on. Oop. Spoke too soon.
That's right.
Spoke too soon. Now Brett Thompson's out to a good 4-0 lead.
He looks
here.
really good. Things just seem to fall into place for him. He's got that, using his leverage. He's keeping a lot of weight on Collier. Collier looks he's a little small, 30-pounder out there.
We might mention both of these wrestlers have been in the state tournament before. Brett Thompson of Western Branch was third in the state in '91. Chip Collier was fifth. And the score right now with 1:16 to go in the second period, 4-0 in favor of Thompson.
Yeah, there was another stalemate situation they called there. They'll bring Collier back to the middle of the mat, set him. Here comes Thompson, assuming that top position. There's Thompson applying good pressure on the top. Really, really blanket riding Collier.
He's got that false cradle on him. And that's exactly, I'm writing in my notes here. Collier totally dominating. And what he's doing is, Wayne called it a blanket ride. He's just covering him up and smothering him.
He is. He's really...
just forcing everything. Watch this. He just going to the far side. He's walking his knee up and he's just crunching him.
Yeah, you're seeing like almost a replay of the last match where Marell Reeves had that leverage and that spidery ride, and here Brett Thompson's duplicating it.
Well, last year, Western Branch had one state champion, and it looks like they've already landed one tonight, and they're well on their way to having two state champions. Collier's got his best thing going for him so far. He has to clear his hips and actually go the other direction from what he's looking at us.
That's right. He needs to clear that ankle. See, Thompson's got two hands on that ankle.
He's not.
Collier knows he's got to clear that ankle, cross-face him, and step over his back.
Right. Not going to get anything.
Ooh, he didn't do it.
That's the end of the second period. Still 4-0.
4-0. I think you see here it is. Collier's going to have his choice this period, I believe.
He's got to take down because he's got to reverse him, and he's got to turn him. Wayne, what would you tell him to do here?
Well,
what move?
Well, Collier right now, his best bet's probably about what he just tried to do. They're trying to get his back into him, come up on his feet, get a point, and then try to get in and get a couple of takedowns on Brett.
Never disagree with you much, Wayne, but he's not going to take him down.
Yeah, now see, here's a situation we talked about earlier where Thompson got hit for stalling.
Early in the period, early in the third period. That's important.
They've hit him once already. So Collier needs to explode off the bottom here, Frank. He's got to score.
Collier is at a 4-point deficit right now to Thompson with 1:42 to go in the third period.
Thompson slips those legs in as Collier tries a Granby out. Brett just follows him right around. He's right on top of him. He's got that scissors, that crossbody right in again. He's going to reach up there, try to grab those hands, pulling him down. Boy, Thompson's looking tough in this situation, Frank. He's doing a great job.
He is that, and it's he's just got to stay on him. He's got a 4-point lead. He can even get hit for stalling. I mean, I don't think that it's going through his mind. I just think that everything's working for him, and he's just covering up. He's smothering him. He's not giving Collier any chance to do anything.
No breathing room at all.
None.
Brett Thompson is just covering him, like you said.
Outmanning him, outgunning him, out-wrestling him, out-maneuvering him, being in the right place at the right time.
Well, the reason the clock was stopped, and you may not have seen it on your screen, was that a stalemate was called on the two wrestlers. And the clock has started back now, 57 seconds to go in the match.
Thompson's got that cross wrist ride. He's controlling those hips, pulling his hips down to the mat. He's looking awful good right now, Frank.
Well, he is that. And there you go. See that forward pressure, you young wrestlers at home? You practice this in the living room. Just don't hit your head on the coffee table.
That's right. Don't tear any holes in the rug either, so Mom doesn't get mad at you.
That's right. Get the dog, get Fido out, get that paw, run it up to his head. But you got to see how the wrestler, again, still the same thing, forward pressure. He's just stuck. I mean, Collier can't do anything. If he can grab his wrist.
18 seconds to go in the match.
Time's clicking.
Oh!
Almost
big
a
move!
Situation.
That's 2!
He's got a 2!
1!
He's got back
2
points.
back points! 3! He's going to win it! 4!
He's going to hold
3!
it.
He's going to win it by a point!
He's got it.
Collier has pulled it out.
He's got a 3 point.
Collier won it. Collier wins it.
What a finish. What a great finish. Oh, Brett Thompson just had that match completely under control, Richie.
For all but the last 15 seconds.
Right at the last 12 seconds of the match, got caught in a 5-point roll.
5-point. Hey, it ain't over till it's over, and the fat lady sings. The fat lady was slipped over in the cock side. That's typical.
That was a great finish.
Thompson.
A great finish.
Great match.
Well, I tell you what, as we mentioned, Brett Thompson in total control, all except for the last 15 seconds of that match.
There he is.
Unbelievable finish.
It's unbelievable. We've had 4 matches. Every one of them has been just got to stay. Here he is, the state champ. Mickey Irving with the state champ.
Chip, final 10 seconds. Trying to thrill everybody here in the crowd, or what?
Not really, just getting lucky.
Did everything go like you expected? You knew it was going to be tough coming in.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't expect me to take on a reversal. You beat me that bad in the third period. I wanted to keep it close and everything, but
not that close.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Hey, I got the lucky job tonight. I'm with all these state champions. There's another one right here. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
Golly, I mean, me and Wayne are just still shaking our heads. And Cox High School, first state champ, and quite a few years. I'm sure we'll be hearing more from him, a state champ. Wayne, I want to thank you for sitting in here with us.
Frank, it's been great.
Golly, if the last part of the matches are anything as good as the first part, try to come back and talk to us a little bit later. Wayne Martin, athletic director of Great Bridge High School. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Frank. I enjoyed it.
All right, we're going into a 135-pound weight division now. We'll see Dan Austin from Meadowbrook High School from the Central Region against Israel Gilbert from Franklin County, which is in the Northwest Region. And there they are on the mat right now.
Franklin County High School
Dan Austin from Meadowbrook in the Central Region. Second in the region is a sophomore. Third is a junior. First place is a senior. Outstanding wrestler is a senior. Fifth in the state as a sophomore. Second as a junior. So Dan Austin has been climbing the ladder from Meadowbrook High School. He was fifth in the state as a sophomore, second as a junior. Israel Gilbert is who he's wrestling from Franklin County. He was first in the district this year, first in the region, fifth in the region last year, and fifth in the region also the year before. So Israel Gilbert never made it to the state before. He's missed it by 1 place, and I'm sure he's glad to be here against
great
Dan Austin
move.
from Meadowbrook.
Oh, look at these guys. Look at these guys. No one scored anything on that.
You know, the problem I have, and maybe you can help me with this, both of these wrestlers are from teams I haven't seen before. Which of the kids is from Meadowbrook and which is from Franklin County?
Well, Franklin County is in the red and white. And I've got sliding in with us Gary Hartnock, coach of Cox High School. Coach, holy mackerel. I mean, it was, hey, I thought it didn't look good there.
Well, we were concerned over in the corner because the guy was riding us out and he was doing what we were afraid he would do by riding with that claw. And I was a little disappointed we weren't getting some stall calls, but that's what happens at the state tournament. That's a big call. He did call him earlier for stalling, but that was just a great effort. It just goes to show that if you...
Whoa, hold on, Coach. Good move here, just a front headlock, and this guy is just going after Dan Austin. Is trying to put it away real quick here, Coach, against Israel Gilbert. You've seen these guys wrestle before.
Well, Austin's a proven winner. He was a state runner-up last year, and he has really overpowered people in this tournament, so nothing he would do in here would surprise me because he's a...
Let's go over and talk to Mickey Irvin now, who's on the other side of the mat. Mickey? A few technical difficulties, it looks like. Mickey's doing a lot of talking.
I'm here with Amy Wright of Western Branch High School and Christine Quinn of Green Run High School. I tell you, we looked and there was cheerleaders all over the place, and we got a little competition going on between the beach and Chesapeake.
No, I don't really think so. We were just cheering.
But I've got Gary Hartnock from Cox High School. Coach, Chip Collier, first state champs we've had in a few years.
Well, it's the first one we've had, I guess, in 3 years since Sean McKenzie won at 145. And we've had a couple of close ones. McFadder got beat last year, and then 2 years ago we had a situation where the wrestler was winning 7-1 and got called for an illegal slam, and we ended up losing by disqualification. So we've had the horses in there. We just haven't been able to come get across the line first. And Chip never let up out there. It was 4-0. The guy was riding. He was doing what he had to do. But Chip kept pressing. He kept moving. He was making the guy wrestle. And, you know, Chip he's a
plugger.
He's a honor student, class president, and it shows in every aspect of his life. Not only his wrestling, but everything he does.
He looked a little outgunned out there. I mean, Thompson just looked, everything was working for him. His blanket ride was working his, picture perfect.
Well, nobody ever accused Chip of being the most technique-oriented wrestler in the area, but there isn't anybody stronger pound for pound. And the last time they wrestled to a tie and had to go into overtime. So the job he did was he just kept moving, and Thompson is noted for his tremendous riding ability, and that's what he was doing. So we felt like we were in trouble. It was 2-0, and then they got the reversal. But Chip never let up, and that's what it's all about in the sport of wrestling. That's what makes it so great.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you being with you. Congratulations. Hey, you got one more to go, and I hope you bring it home.
I hope so. I got to go to the room and do some painting tomorrow, I hope. Thank you.
I'll tell you about that paint. That's good. I'm proud of you for saying that. Cox High School's got a wrestling room list of all the state champs on the wall. And believe me, before this thing started, that's forever. Not everything's forever, but right. You get your name on the wall. Great Bridge has it. The Western Branch has it. It's a big deal, and people point to it, and you're a living legend. Chip Collier pulls it out with less than 14 seconds to go, and he wins the state champ. But right now, we're in another weight class.
Here. Hey, we're at 135. That's the end of the second period. Things are all tied up between Israel Gilbert. Looks like a great rider out there on top of Dan Austin from Meadowbrook.
Right.
I tell you what, Meadowbrook, the guy from Meadowbrook, Dan Austin in the blue and gold, he's 32-0-0 this year. 106, 18-0 overall. You got to think he's favored because he was 5th in the state as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior.
Right.
And all of that at 130. So he's moved up 5 pounds, and here he is against Israel Gilbert from Franklin County High School.
Right, this Franklin County's tough. They won the Stallion Duels, a big green run in the Stallion Duels, Franklin County. And he's not to be taken.
Hey, there's 2 points for Israel Gilbert from Franklin County
Real
in the red and gold.
Real basic, and got that half Nelson on them, and just real good wrestlers. Not a lot of flash, just a lot of guts. And good sound kick. Nice roll by Austin, but didn't convert it. Scores 4-2. Yeah, don't be surprised if this thing goes overtime.
Tell you what, plenty of time, minute 14 to go. There's a stalling warning against Israel Gilbert.
Couple of horses out here. 32-0 for Austin coming into this match. 31-2 for Gilbert coming into this match.
He's going to let him up. That's going to make the score 4-3 now, still in favor of the Franklin County wrestler Israel Gilbert. But he must be pretty confident in his takedown ability, because that's what he's going to try to score his points. His coach...
nice little dump. It was a barrel roll. Barrel roll. Got to get... No, and he doesn't able to convert it. Gilbert still in control. He will give... maybe now he's going to probably score him 2. Yep, he gets him 2.
2 points on the reversal, and that'll put Dan Austin ahead by a score of
5-4.
Yeah, 5-4, exactly. I thought Frank showed me fingers, and I thought he was telling me 9 points or something. I don't know. I'm adding, but it's 5-4 now.
Now the clock isn't really in the best spot for us to see it, so if Richie makes a mistake, I'll try to straighten him out.
But of course, you know that never happened.
Again, we want to thank you, everyone out there at home, for all you've done. Here we are at the show, the main event, and we've done it because of your calls to the station and the flattered at the compliments you've given us all for the job we've done. And believe me, we love it, and we want to continue to do it next year. So keep those cards and letters. It counts.
There's an escape.
Yep.
And that's going to tie it up 5-5.
4 seconds. Overtime.
3, 2, 1.
Overtime.
That's the end of the regular match.
We've had everything.
With the score tied 5-5 between Israel Gilbert, who's really put on a show, looking at who's been in what tournaments.
All right.
You would think Dan Austin would be favored, but that's not the case.
All right, this is what happens. We're in overtime. It starts immediately, no delay. Whoever scores wins. They wrestle 2 minutes. No one scores. There it is, right there. It's over. Oh, that close. Now he goes lift his head up, take a big step, scored. He just lost.
That's it. 2 takedown points. Wins it for Dan Austin in overtime from Meadowbrook High School. You got to think he was the favorite coming in overtime. That's Dan Austin, the winner. And Dan Austin is from the Central Region, and that's the first Central Region champion and the first wrestler to win a state championship from Franklin County tonight. Boy, what a match, Frank. We've had them come right down to the wire.
Yeah, we have that. We have that. We've had everything. We've had a controversy in the first match. Time ran out, but a point was scored.
We're at the 140-pound weight division right now. We'll see Chris Sabo against Mark Strickland. Frank had a chance to talk to Chris Sabo's coach, Carl Spinnenweber, from Herndon High School, and this is what he said Chris had to do to win at 140.
Well, to beat Mark Strickland tonight, he's got to beat him on his feet. Mark Strickland is an excellent Great Bridge wrestler. They're very good at the rolls. We got to be aggressive and attack on our feet. We can't be intimidated. Mark is a very aggressive wrestler. Takes after the Brands brothers from Iowa, where his coaches are from. So we got to take it to Mark on his feet. And I think Chris is the underdog coming to this match. Mark has got a lot of press this year. Mark has been wrestling great all year. Chris has had a good year. He lost one match 6-4 to a national prep champ. The key for Chris to win this match is to take Strickland down and beat him on his feet. If we can beat him on his feet and avoid the infamous Granby and Peterson rolls that Great Bridge is famous for, I think we can handle him.
We'll see from Great Bridge also Mark Strickland at 140, coached by Steve Martin. Frank also had a chance to talk to him.
Mark Strickland, in order to defeat the defending state champ tonight, Scott Sabo from Herndon, he's going to have to wrestle a very controlled match on his feet. He's going to have to shoot offensively and pick his shots. He can't be sloppy in his shots. It's very important for him to get out in the bottom because Sabo's a very good rider on top. We feel if we can get out in the bottom, we have a very good shot at beating him. And on top, he needs to work his Shirella turns. So basically, Mark needs to take this guy down with a controlled shot, get out of the bottom very quick, and then on top, turn him.
Now before we get started at 140, though, let's go to Mickey Irving, who's with the state champion Dan Austin from Meadowbrook High School.
Toughest match of the night so far, Dan. Tell us what's going on in your mind in the last couple seconds.
I was just saying, it's the state championship. I'm never going to be here again ever. It's my senior year. I mean, it's been my goal all year to win it. So my dad, my girlfriend, and Coach Kane all been hounding me. My partner, Lewis Johnson, he's been a great partner. And it wouldn't happen without them.
There it is, another state champion crowned here tonight. Congratulations to this man, Dan Austin.
All right, thanks, Mickey. We're underway now, the 140-pound weight division. Mark Strickland from Great Bridge. You've seen him before. And Chris Sabo, we talked to his coach, and he said what he had to do was he had to beat Mark Strickland on his feet. He had to avoid the roll, and he had to be aggressive on his feet. Frank?
This is the match. This is the one that everyone has been talking about. The defending state champion against the surgeon, Mark Strickland, who's probably the best, one of the best wrestlers out of the Eastern region. Of course, we got Jason Denton also with me for the help us call this match is Kevin Dresser, national champion from Iowa, and you can see Strickland trying that sweep. Kevin is the coach of Grundy High School, 6-time AA state champion, ranked 4th in the nation by USA Today, and they've had a great tradition with Great Bridge. They beat Great Bridge this year in the Pocosin Christmas tournament, and the reason they won is because Mark Strickland pinned himself.
Yeah, exactly. Mark was dominating the match. Control fall, and it was kind of a freak thing. Mark Strickland's an excellent wrestler. This is probably one of the premier matches here in the finals tonight.
You know both these boys real well, Coach.
Yeah, I've seen both of them wrestle quite often, and I look for a real good match. Strickland's a little bit probably favored on the mat, where Sabo, I think, is a little bit tougher on his feet. That's probably a shock to the Virginia Beach audience, but Sabo is super on his feet. He's a lot of freestyle summer experience, and he's been here before. That's the difference.
Strickland comes in with a 40-1 record, and Chris Sabo is 33-1. Like to see the bear that bit him.
Yeah, I think a wrestler from New York.
Yeah, national prep champion beat him. Right.
Right.
Nice, did you say, a nice inside step single, no points scored. These guys are throwing caution to the wind. Great shot by our camera people. Looks like the national tournament, doesn't it, Coach?
Great shot. And I tell you what, they're really flurrying here right now. Sabo's in on a low ankle, and Strickland's hanging tough here, trying to flurry out and come up with nothing here at the end of the period. But they're really going at it. This is probably the best flurry of the whole finals.
Strickland gets 2. Great. I tell you what, these guys aren't showing any respect for each other out here.
I tell you what, I thought they might kind of tighten up for each other, being that they respected each other so much, but right now they're really going at it, and that really helps Strickland to get that takedown right with 3 or 4 seconds to go. Doesn't give Sabo a chance to get out, and usually Sabo's pretty sound at getting out, so that gives him a big advantage going in the second period.
Chris Sabo's coach, Carl Skippenweber, said that he's got to win it on his feet, and he's got to keep away from that roll and cut him loose, and you can see he's doing exactly that. He did cut him loose.
Well, I talked to both coaches before, and they knew that Sabo wasn't going to try to ride him because he respects that roll. Strickland's real good at that roll, and again, Sabo feels like he can win it on his feet there, and Strickland just out-flurried him. There's a nice shot.
Nice shot. And if you see, he's not spending any time down on the mat. He hit it and he came right up, because if he gets trapped down there, everything's going Strickland's way.
Right now, everything is going Strickland's way. He's just getting more confidence as he scores more points.
Sure,
and that takedown gave him a lot of confidence. And he was real tentative in this. I watched him in the quarters and the semis, and Strickland really didn't open up. And I feel that he's really opened up here right now. And if he opened up, I felt I had a feeling he could beat him. But the way he wrestled in the quarters and semis, I thought Sabo dominated a little bit.
Right, well,
earlier.
it's 3-0. That's a lot of points in a big match like this to have a lead, but it only takes a second, as we found out at that 130-pound match with Chip Collier pulled. Oh, nice big throw, but didn't score it. Again, you throwing Strickland upside down. We're dropping him off the ladder, and he's coming out on his feet every time, Coach.
Well, what happened there was it was an arm throw, and that's a freestyle maneuver, and in freestyle that's worth 3 points, but in folk style it's worth 0, and Strickland just came up on top, and like I say, it was probably a little panic move there, I feel. Strickland's dominating right now, 5-0.
With 40 seconds to go in the second period, we're at the 140-pound weight division. Strickland is definitely having things his way.
No question, but let's not rest on our laurels here. Again, I keep pointing to that 130-pound match. It was all Thompson and then Bloom. And they're going to watch this. Watch Strickland convert this into a roll situation here. Uh-oh.
Sable's got a cradle locked up right now.
And there's 14 seconds, enough time to score it.
He's got to get at least the reversal.
Right,
I think he's,
He just got 2.
The reversal.
There it is. There's 2 points. That'll make it 5-2. Still in favor of Strickland and Great Bridge with 4 seconds to go.
He's not going to be able to score it unless he tries to force him through, right? Okay, this is third period, and
Sable's going to pick bottom to try to get out, and I'd say get an escape, make it 5-3, and then try to take down, and maybe go into overtime, or maybe let him up and try to take him down for the win. Just depends on how quick he gets out.
If he can cut that, if he gets the escape, it'll cut it to 2 points, but Strickland is dominating this match on his feet right now.
Exactly, he is. He sure is. Sable's a goer in the bottom, but I'll tell you, Strickland bars you up and gets you on your belly.
There he is.
In trouble.
Oh, he's got a cradle on him.
I don't think he can ride Sable. I watched Sable. He's real sound. Of course, he's getting across right now. Sable's getting across, and Strickland's hanging tough. I tell you what, this is a match. This is a lot of strategy right here.
Right.
1:40 to go in the third period, and the referee's called a stalemate.
Yeah, well, all that's in Strickland's favor now. Remember, he's got a 2-point lead, and the
3-point lead, yeah.
3-point lead, and the time eats away. That's all in Mark Strickland's favor.
Sable's going to have to hustle right now. Strickland's really out-wrestled him thus far. He's really out-wrestled him. And they just called a lock in the hands call, and it was real controversial. And I don't know. I tell you what, I don't know. And they're probably going to call this stalemate. Yeah, they're going to call it. And those fingers barely touched. If we had instant replay, we could really tell here.
1 point's going to be awarded to Sabo. That'll make it 5-3.
I feel that's controversial right there.
With the locking hands?
Yeah, his fingers just barely touched.
Hey, this is the state championship. It's full of controversy. So far, everything that's happened in this tournament so far.
Started at 103 and hasn't stopped, right?
I would like to note that Kevin Drescher was a teammate of Stephen Martin's out at Iowa. Oh!
Almost caught him in that half Nelson.
Right, sure did. Like I said, these guys absolutely show no respect for each other. A couple of bangers. And they're both capable of demolishing and have demolished about everyone they've wrestled this year.
Strickland's riding Sable a lot longer than I thought he would. Right. Sable's trying to set up a big point move, and I think if he was smart, he'd just try it for the 1 or 2. But he's trying to get the big points.
Both of these wrestlers are juniors.
Oh, man. That's tough.
How would you rate these guys as college prospects?
They're both excellent college prospects, just because they wrestle a lot in the summertime, and they've beaten kids in the whole East and Southeast, not just the. There's a nice turn.
Back.
Boy,
nice turn. That's Torella.
Oh man.
Oh no, I don't see that at all. Those back points.
Again, that's controversial.
But it wasn't even close.
I tell you what, that Torella is what Stevie Martin said that Mark Strickland would have to do in order to win.
No way.
And indeed, he does it for 2 back points. Controversial or not, it's 7-3 with 13 seconds to go.
And Strickland's not going to get Granby rolled as much as time as he's in that room. And I tell you, that 2 points is going to come back to haunt him.
There's 2 reversal points for Chris Sabo.
I don't see those. I didn't even see those back.
Controversial again.
7-5. That's the end of the match. And the state champion is Mark Strickland by a score of 7-5.
Big points, the roll.
State champion Mark Strickland. They call him the surgeon. I call him the surgeon.
That's right.
And he definitely takes apart Chris Sabo. And there it is. That says it all right there.
Sure does.
That says it all.
He came out to wrestle, and he deserved to win that match just from the plain fact that he did. He came out and wrestled. I thought he might tighten up a bit being in the state finals, but boy, he looked good.
And what that'll do is make Great Bridge still in first place, of course, but they'll add 3 points to their score. It's 153 now, and they're favored to 83 for Centerville.
Both juniors.
Coming up now at 145, we'll see Rob Barlow from Kempsville High School. Frank had a chance to talk to his coach, Tim Spruill, to ask what Rob would have to do in order to win.
Okay, at 145, our kid's Rob Barlow, and he's had a terrific tournament. He's been wrestling wide open. It's things that he's got going for him on his feet, his hesitation step and hitting his low sweep and coming up low and scoring there. On the bottom, he's been successful with what we call a smash and shrug, getting that head over and rolling people in that area. He's probably his best when he's on top, and that's what's been successful with him with armbar tilts and taking people over. Now tonight, he's got Alzada from Herndon, and his best position is on top. We feel that this guy's probably going to choose top on us when he gets his decision. And we're going to have to figure out a way to keep out. He likes to come in with a claw, and then when you come in the claw, you look in, he throws the scissors in on the other side. So we've got to figure out a way to block that out and stay out of the scissors. Maybe run this circle and get a smash, get a shrug from there. We've got to get off the bottom and beat this guy.
Frank also had a chance to talk to Carl Spinnenweber from Herndon High School about his wrestler, Arash Elizadeh, to find out what he would have to do to win this match.
I think the most important thing is to get the first takedown. Arash is one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler in the state of Virginia on top. Arash is an incredibly turning people. If he can get on top, we're pretty confident that he'll be able to turn anybody that he's wrestled. He started wrestling as a sophomore. He's probably one of the most improved wrestlers in the state of Virginia in 2 years. So the key for us to win is get the early takedown and score some quick back points early in the match. We'll get some confidence going. Barlow from Kempsville, once again, the Eastern region is very good at mat wrestling. We have to utilize our legs. Arash is a great leg wrestler. If we can utilize our legs and score some quick back points early in the match, I think that'll give us the confidence to get by.
And now Mickey's with state champion Mark Strickland from Great Bridge before we get started at 145. Mickey?
Mark, you got it. It's all over with finally. I know you couldn't wait for it to end. Were you able to control the flow of the match like you wanted?
Well, I don't know. He was real tough. And I don't know, really. I just tried my best. I mean, I knew he was a return state champ. I knew he's probably favored to win. I was trying to try my best. I mean, I felt confident going out there because I know I worked hard all year. And I was just praying to God would come out. I was in heaven.
Well, now you get to be the returning state champ next year. Just a junior, Mark Strickland wins the state championship here at Richmond today. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Mickey. Right now in a match with 145, we'll see Rob Barlow in the red and gray from Kempsville. He's 44-1-11-2 rather overall. He was first in the Eastern region this year. Elizadeh is a wrestler from Herndon High School. He's 67-22 overall. And what his coach, Carl Spinnenweber, said is that he needs the first takedown in order to beat Barlow from Kempsville.
He did that. I've got Kevin Drescher with me, the coach of the AA state champs, ranked 4th in the nation. Coach, in case a lot of people don't know, I'm going to tell you right now, as high school director of Virginia Duels, it looks like Great Bridge and Grundy in the first round of the Virginia Duels next year. How do you look forward to that matchup?
Oh, we look forward to it. That's a chance for our kids to get excited because Great Bridge is the best in AAAs and we're the best in AAs, and that's the way it should be. So everybody get out and support the Virginia Duels, right?
Yeah, that's it. And I would assume, I'm not going to take anything away from your team, but looking at Great Bridge's performance here, that could be the best team in the country this year.
Great Bridge has got a super team this year. I'm usually not one for polls, and I feel it's real hard to rank teams from different states, especially when you're so far geographically, but I think Great Bridge has a case to being one of the best teams in the state, as well as I feel we have one of the best, the nation, I feel we have. I think we're both real good teams this year, and I tell you what, I love to watch Great Bridge wrestle.
Thanks a lot. Kevin Drescher, the coach of Grundy High School. Thanks, Coach. And we're right in the thick of things here at 1:45.
Yeah, we sure are. No score so far. 44 seconds remain in the first period. And again, Arash Elizadeh from Herndon High School against Rob Barlow from Kempsville High School.
And there's Barlow is in on try that little sweep and trying to set them up. These guys are just kind of filling each other's out. And with me I have now is Jimmy Fussell, 3-time state champ out of Kempsville High School, and from out of Syracuse, is one of the great wrestlers from Syracuse University. Now is in the area coaching at Jim Strata. Jim Fussell, welcome to the state championship finals. Barlow's looking good out here. He's in the state. Got to the finals, and he's really been able to mix it up right well.
Yeah, anytime Barlow can really control a guy like he does on his feet, he's looking good, because when he gets on top, he's going to ride him like a blanket. I can predict that.
Winning the state championship, you're definitely know a lot about it. You've won 3 of them. What's going through your mind when you get out there? He's in the second period now with the score still just 0-0. He's got to make something happen. What does Barlow got to do?
I think he's really happy with himself where he's at. He's just got to get on top of this guy and ride him. He's going to get his points on top. He's got to get on this guy and get his bars in.
Okay, he's
well, that's Barlow for you. We call him Barlow when around the workout room.
Barlow.
Because he's going to bar him up. That's his stuff.
Oh, he's going to look like he's
got to keep these legs out now. If he gets his legs out and get away from him, this guy's going to try to put him in and turn him.
Ali Dasha is only been wrestling since he's been a couple years, and his coach called him one of the best leg wrestlers that he's ever been associated with.
Yeah.
And that's one way, and you can see him using those legs right there.
Yeah.
It was slow down. Ooh, watch that shoulder.
there.
Watch that shoulder. It's Gary Beatson from the Eastern Region out on top. And that's one way to stop a roll guy, is throw those legs in. You know that. That's torture.
That's a nightmare for a roll guy, because he just gets his legs tied up and he can't get his hips out. And it's key for these roll guys to get those hips out.
And there's Ali. We're going to call him Ali for short.
Yeah.
Ali just kind of pulling him over, and he's got him tied up. And what he's doing with Barlow is taking away his strength. He's taking away his bottom from him.
Man, he's definitely riding him hard. He's got that claw across his throat. He's wearing on him pretty tough. And he's really working on that shoulder.
Well, as we mentioned, Frank, as we mentioned, Aliza Day's coach said that he's also good on top. He's talking about Barlow being good on top. He said that Aliza Day's real strength was that he was good on top, and that in fact, if he could get the first takedown and remain on top, that he may well be able to win this state championship.
So we might just have a little mat wrestling going on here.
Yeah, really.
Change, you know.
We've heard everybody say about being good on their feet.
Yeah. Well,
these guys like being on a mat.
Yeah. These guys are in for a treat here in the stands.
Yeah, that's right.
A little bottom work here.
It's a great final so far, Jim.
Yeah. Oh, I've really been enthused about him.
Oh, there
he goes. He's got his head.
Yeah,
He's got
he's going to pin him.
Put him on his back.
He's
right on his back.
Pin him right there.
Nice. Go get him. Stay on it now. There you go.
So a little partiality here with your alma mater. Barlow is in great shape.
Oh, what a move there.
Nice.
That'll be the first points, believe it or not, with 12 seconds to go in the second period, the first points of this match, and they'll go to Barlow of Kempsville for his reversal.
And then he should be able to ride him out.
Who had choice?
1 second.
I think it's Barlow's choice.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2
Red's
drivers
choice.
that need to check your cars.
Barlow will take down. He should take down.
No, he'll go top. He likes his top work.
This is unusual for a Kempsville or a Great Bridge guy to take top with choice.
With choice, yeah. No, that's just one for the record books. Yeah.
I think they're going to confer with their coaches on that.
Check on this.
You sure you want to take top? Look at him over there. You sure you want to take top? Yeah, I'll take top.
I think
I'm winning. I want top. No, you should take bottom.
Looks like maybe something, a couple of trainers out on the mat now. Something may be wrong with Aliza Day. I'm not sure. Certainly the referee thought something was wrong. Maybe in his arm. It looks like something's wrong maybe around his elbow or something.
So you can see Coach Sproul and Steven, and you've been in that corner before. What are they telling him? You can see what's going on.
He's technically tearing this kid apart. Lawrence is such a technician. He's technically telling him where to be at and where to score at.
And you can see that they're checking out. And the way it goes is these guys over here can't tell him any moves. They can just check on his physical ability to wrestle.
Sure
on the other side, the other coaches can tell him anything he wants.
Yeah, he might be catching his wind here for bottom, but boy, Barlow's got a book of tricks up his sleeve after talking to Lawrence that long.
Into the third period here at 1:45. We'll remind you it's 2-0 instead of in favor of Barlow. take a look right now. We said that at the team standings right now, Great Bridge still in first place at 153, but Western Branch has moved into second place, 84 points for them, 83 for Centerville, and then 61 for Franklin County. Actually, Franklin County was able to add some points there. They're up to like 64 points now. And then after them, Kempsville, Herndon, Cox, Green Run.
Eastern Region is faring fairly well here at the state championships.
They sure are. Five state champions from the Eastern Region so far, plus those two co-champions, if we want to call them.
Well, they're they count. We're counting them.
And then one from the Central Region.
We got a little lock up here.
Oh, it's Barlow. Okay, should be escape for somebody.
No,
right.
they didn't give him control in there.
There was there's a bias. He got an escape.
Down inside of a minute to go now in the third period at 1:45.
With me, this is Kevin Fussell, three-time state champion from Kempsville High School, All-American out of Syracuse.
41 seconds, and the score right now really close, 2-1 in favor of Barlow of Kempsville. And it looks like a stalling warning for Aresh Alizadeh.
So they're trying to open him up and get and bring it a little bit closer, see if we got overtime.
These guys really
27 seconds.
They seem like mat wrestlers out there more than.
Right, he's trying to block him.
He's got
20 seconds to go. He's going to score it. He's got it.
He's got to keep.
Nope. Yeah, he did.
That's 2 points for Alizadeh. That'll make it 3-2.
You better hurry up.
In his favor with 10 seconds to go. 6, 5,
4. Looks like Alizadeh's got it. 1 second. He pulls it out. Alizadeh wins it.
He pulls it out. Well, that's staying intense in the last 20 seconds for you folks.
Now we've had a lot of matches, if you've seen tonight, have been decided in the last 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Last 4 to 5 seconds.
That's a great thing about the sport.
Kevin Fussell, former Kempsville High School wrestler, three-time state champion. Another Eastern Regional big matchup.
Hey, well, we got 152 coming up. The 152-pound weight division, Chad McFadder will be wrestling from Frank Cox High School. Frank had a chance to talk to his coach, Gary Hartnell, to see what he thought Chad McFadder had to do.
Well, Chad's wrestling a grudge match tonight from the regional finals last week. He was upset 3-1. It's the first match that Chad's lost in over a year. And he lost his concentration a little bit out there, and the guy was able to block him off and do some things to him to kind of take him out of his offense. But same thing applies this week as last week. He's got to go out and he's got to open up and make this guy wrestle. The closer the match, the better it is for the other individual. If Chad goes out and forces the action, makes something happen, then it's really to his benefit to do that. And that's what we've worked on all week. We looked at what he was doing to stop some of his stuff, and we worked on some things this week that we felt he had to be doing to open up more. And so we'll find out tonight if it's going to pay off.
And Frank also had a chance to talk to Steve Martin and ask him what he thought Jamie Kelly had to do to win over Chad McFadder, who he just beat in the regions.
At 152, Jamie Kelly squares off against Chad McFadder from Cox. And basically, it's going to be a positioning war. Whoever gets the better positioning will win. Kelly's going to be doing underhooks on both sides on him and doing a lot of Russian arms on his feet to control the tie-up. We're looking for maybe him shooting a high crotch in there on his feet or a low ankle shot at the end of the match when McFadder gets tired. We won't do it at the beginning. On the bottom is very important for Jamie. He has to get off the bottom this week. He got ridden last weekend. If he does not get off the bottom, he's going to have a hard time beating McFadder. And on top, he's not going to ride him.
Just about to get underway now, 152, Frank. And hey, we saw a lot of excitement between these two guys in the region final.
Oh, what a matchup. Kelly pulls it out with 7 seconds to go, gets a single, and I believe he shot on the left-hand side, his left. And scored a takedown and wins it 3-1, wins the regional championship. So I think the pressure in this point is really back on Kelly. What do you think, Jimmy?
And that's definitely got to be in the back of his mind.
can he pull it out again? And to maintain that intensity level over a week, think about it. He's definitely thinking.
Chad McFadder has been here before.
Yeah.
Runner-up last year.
He's been here before and he knows what to take.
I tell you what, Steve Martin, we talked to him a few minutes ago. What he said is Jamie Kelly's got to stay off the bottom. That positioning is what's going to win this match.
McFadder didn't waste any time. He's had a heck of a tournament.
Yeah.
He's had 2 technical falls and a pin in 26 seconds in the semifinals. So he's taking it right to Kelly. This could be big right here.
This could really set the pace for the whole match right here.
McFadder scores his 2 and see if he can convert this. He's in a Turk ride. He's got to pull that shoulder hard. He's definitely wrestling with a mission in mind here tonight. Reckless abandon. If he can just keep this intensity up, you see him drive that half real deep.
57 seconds now, inside of a minute in the first period. Things not looking really good at the moment for Jamie Kelly. But then again, when things started the region, things didn't look great for him.
Really. I mean, but it's happened that way. Again, I want to report the matches have all fallen in different directions. The winner, the apparent winner, loses in the last few seconds quite a few times tonight.
Yes, it started off. Yeah, it's been like that throughout the night. And McFadder's definitely set a intense pace here early.
2-0, but it's just 2. I mean, that's not a lot of points for Great Bridges with their style of wrestling.
Not especially on bottom.
Really. Right, when the Great Bridge is on bottom, there it is, right there. High turn, little shrug. What do you call that?
Yeah, he did a little low turn in there. Now we're to try to get a roll here. Looks like he's going for the back points, but
hey, there's 2 reversal points for Jamie Kelly, and that'll tie things up at 2 with 29 seconds to go in the first period.
And Kelly kind of forced McFadder off there. The referees weren't really let it go this time, but I think what happens a couple more times, they'll jump right on it.
Yeah. Good little trick there.
Right. McFadder's coming up strong.
He's definitely they're gonna get on him if he keeps that up. He's got.
And McFadder will come right back to his feet, and it's Kelly's responsibility to take McFadder back to the mat. So even though the score is tied, I still want to say the momentum is in McFadder's direction.
He's definitely setting a tough pace.
All right, this is smart by Kelly.
Calm him down, son.
Right, slow him down, put those legs in on him.
6 seconds to go in the first period.
It could be a little too high here.
McFadder is a brute.
He almost saved by the bell.
Let me tell you,
that was close.
That's the end of the first period. Score tied 2-2. Between 2 guys that are fairly familiar with each other.
Real familiar.
Yeah.
And Chad McFadder is a senior, and Jamie Kelly is just a junior.
Just a junior?
That goes with most of the Great Bridge team.
Does he have a senior? I don't know. I don't think he has a senior.
Yeah, but Hall won, too.
Maybe 1 senior. That's scary.
Got 10 back. Great Bridge returns 10 starters next year and 6 state place winners. 6.
That's great. I think they might be ready for Oklahoma City again from the Virginia Duels.
Well, we've got some good ones coming in for them. Next year it'll be Great Bridge and Grundy in the first round. There's McFadder in deep.
That'll be a great matchup.
Never wrestled before in a dual meet.
Never.
Minute 31 to go in the second period. 3-2 now in favor of Jamie Kelly. And the wrestlers go out of bounds. I'll come back to the center with a minute 24 to go in the second period. It's still in the 152-pound weight division. Boy, these guys are just wrestling wide open.
Yeah, there's no love lost between the 2 of these guys.
Well, these two schools traditionally have a rivalry.
Cox is a very intense school. Their style is a very intense wrestling, and when they get on that intense roll, they're tough to stop.
There was a stalling warning against Jamie Kelly. It was just a warning, so no points will be awarded. And it's 3-2, favor of Kelly still. 1 minute to go in the second period. 49 seconds. We're at the 152-pound weight division.
Oh, deep move.
That'll be 2 takedown points and some back points for Chad McFadder.
Is turning it on.
He's ahead 4-3 now after the takedown. The back points haven't been awarded yet. 30 seconds.
McFadder is going for the fall.
Sure is. He's got time, 24 seconds.
Definitely time. Just like Coach Gary Hardnoff said, he's got to throw caution to the wind. And that's what he did. He opened it up and
13 seconds.
Every time these two have wrestled, it's been close, but it hasn't been close tonight.
Boy, Kelly's getting all he's got to stay off his back. 4, 3, 2, 1. He averts imminent danger, but he doesn't avoid some points. McFadder gets 2 takedown points plus 3 back points, and that'll make the score 7-3 in favor of McFadder of Cox High School as we go into the third period. And McFadder will start on the bottom. Jamie Kelly's going to let him up. He feels that he can do better on his feet, I suppose. And that'll make it 8-3 now in favor of McFadder. 1:53 in the third period left. Kelly shoots no good. And Coach Hardnoff of Cox wants his 2 points for the takedown, but in the referee's opinion, they didn't show enough control. So the wrestlers are still neutral in the center of the mat. 1:38 to go in the third period. 8-3 still in favor of McFadder of Cox.
This is McFadder's got that 8-3 lead, and he's really been turning it on. He really looks good, but again, it only takes a few seconds. The momentum has been in McFadder's corner this whole match. He's really looked good. The best I think I've seen him wrestle in these 2 matchups, but he's had a great tournament all the way.
Well, he had something to prove. He wanted to get here. He wanted to see Jamie Kelly after Jamie Kelly beat him for the region title. 1:02 to go. Still 8-3 in favor of McFadder. Wrestlers go out of bounds, and they'll come back to the center of the mat. Things looking really good for McFadder. 5-point lead inside a minute to go in the match.
Oh, it looks like a takedown to me. I don't know what they're waiting.
And he gets it. Jamie Kelly will get the 2 takedown points.
If he had gone any farther out, he would have been up in the third row of the bleachers.
And that'll make it 8-5 in favor of McFadder.
With us right now, we'll talk to him a little bit more as this match ends, is Buddy Lee, a very prominent name in wrestling the world. We're very fortunate to have this world champion with us.
The clock stops at 20 seconds as the wrestlers go out of bounds. It's 9-5 in favor of McFadder. Only 20 seconds to go for him to protect his lead of 4 points. Cox is maybe on their way to having a second state champion. Chad McFadder may want a little more too. He's a senior. This is his last chance. Jamie Kelly's a junior, and he can come back next year. And that's it.
McFadder wins it.
McFadder wins it 9-5. And that's another state champion for the Eastern District. That's the 6th, not counting the co-champions, and also it's a 2nd for Cox High School. Coming up next at the 160-pound weight division, we have Mark Braid from Stonewall Jackson Frank had a chance to talk to his coach, Bill Cameron, to find out what Mark Braid had to do to win the state championship.
Well, Mark's wrestled Dentron Eason twice. We wrestled him in the tournament down in Deep Creek, and I think we caught Eason by surprise. He wasn't used to Mark's style. Very aggressive on his feet, very tough on that low single, low double, and we overwhelmed him. The second time we wrestled him was in the state championship duels, and it was a little tougher match. It got a little closer. That's due to good coaching, I'm sure. This match, I anticipate the Great Bridge people putting in Eason in a situation where trying to keep that match within 1, 2, or at the worst in that case scenario, 3 points going into the last 30, 40 seconds. Our goal is to be aggressive on our feet, take the lead early, maybe cut him, maybe work him, I don't know, depending on how the match goes. Trying to build up a 3, 4, 5 point lead going into the last 2 minutes of this match.
Let's go to Steve Martin, who talked to Frank about what Dentron Eason had to do at 160 to win the state championship.
Dentron Eason squares off with Brady from Stonewall Jackson. He's beaten us twice this year. Brady's a very physical wrestler that's been around for a long time. Dentron, in order to win this match, we're going to have to go a 0-0 first period with them. Then our conditioning can take effect in second and third periods. Dentron needs to score on knee pull single shots, and on top he needs to get some armbar tilts. On the bottom we won't have any problem getting away from him. The main thing Dentron has to do in order to win this match is to take it in the second period 0-0 and not get scored on.
And now Mickey Irving's with the state champion from Cox High School, Chad McFadden. Mickey?
Chad, you did it. You had a rough match last week, came back strong. You totally dominated. What did you see as the keys?
Before the match, it's all in the head, you know. I just kept saying, shooting score, shooting score, shooting score. Because that's where I got in trouble last time. I didn't shoot. This time it's beat into my head. Practice real hard. I wasn't going to lose for anything.
Congratulations, Chad McFadden, state champion. I tell you, met a lot of athletes this year, and this guy right here, a class act from Cox High School. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Frank, before we get started on this match, I believe you have a guest.
Oh, I really do have a very special guest with me. We have Buddy Lee. Buddy is a former state champion, All-American at Old Dominion. He was 4th in the World Championships, and he's headed for the Olympic Games in Greco-Roman. Welcome, Buddy.
Thank you, Frank. It's good to see you again.
Great state championships. You were in the finals twice. You're a runner-up, and you were a state champ. What's your hopes for the Olympic team?
Well, right now I'm focusing on weight training. I'm down in Richmond, and I'm doing some powerlifting, and just focusing and just getting ready for the games in August.
We've got a great match here in the finals right now.
These guys have seen each other before. We see Mark Braid from Stonewall Jackson from the Northwest region. He's 42-0 this season. Overall, he's 131-10-1. No stranger to winning. As a matter of fact, on his headgear, he has written the best. And certainly he wants to be the best in the state, but to do it, he's got to beat Dentron Eason, but he's done that before twice.
Oh, right. He was got 131 wins coming into this match. He's won more matches than you did in high school, buddy.
Pretty much so. I only won 95.
Really? Golly. That's 42-0, and he was runner-up in the state meet last year. And he's a great wrestler, and he's going right after him. Buddy, how do you like these athletes and their performances here in the state tournament?
I think I'm pretty surprised because these guys are pretty technically sound. Of course, you should expect that after 10 years. It was 15 years ago when I wrestled, in 1977. But these guys are very aggressive, and they're wrestling like they want to win.
Right. He's a warning stall against Dentron Eason, and he's doing that by Mark Blade is just literally taking the match to him, buddy.
Yeah. This is a tough situation right here.
Right, he's got that front head leg. He's going to get his hips back. Mark Blade's going to get his hips back, and
I think it's a stalemate.
Right, I think it's a stalemate too. Buddy is one of the premier takedown artists in the country. He's in the Army, and he's won the SISM games, which is the best you can do in the armed forces. He's, like I said, he was 4th in the world in the Greco-Roman, and premier. Buddy holds 15 national titles right here from Virginia. Buddy Lee.
That'll be 2 takedown points for Mark Braid from Stonewall Jackson. The first point scored 16 seconds ago in the first period, and he's up 2-0. We might mention that throws out Stevie Martin's game plan. He said that what needed to happen was that the score needed to be 0-0 at the end of the first period, and it's already 2-0 in favor of Mark Braid.
Right, these guys really come into these matches well prepared with a great game plan, Buddy. Like you mentioned before, there's a lot of technique. The kids have really come a long way in 10 years.
Very much so. Highly conditioned, and I like the attitudes, good sportsmanship too.
Oh, definitely good sportsmanship, and it's been a great finals. 2-0 over Blade over Dentron Eason. Great Bridge has 5 guys in the finals, and so far they've only had 1 champion. Right. 1 champion. So that's not bad. Trade that off for 5 guys in the finals.
But this is only the second wrestler though that we've seen from Great Bridge.
Right, that's right. How's it look for United States at in the summer games, Buddy?
Well, as far as freestyle, we've been 1 and 2 in the world for the past 4 years. For Greco-Roman, we had a pretty good finish. We placed in the top 5 this year in the World Championships, but I think that in Greco-Roman wrestling, which is my style, I think if everyone performs to their capabilities, then we should be in the top 3 as a team in the world.
And you can see Dentron Eason in on a deep single with Mark Blade's got what you call a 3/4 Nelson on him. He's kind of what you call, he's crowding him a lot, Buddy. He's just, cutting him off from making his shots, getting his shots off.
Well, that's a good defense right there. I mean, if you know a guy's really good on their feet, then you crowd him.
Now, you're a great freestyle wrestler, takedown artist, but you switched over to Greco-Roman, which is upper body.
Very much so. In freestyle, I kept getting hurt, and after a while, when you start getting hurt, you want to change over, but you would like to continue wrestling. But it was easy for me to make the transition to Greco because my team, the All-Marine Wrestling team, is a Greco-Roman type team, and I found myself to last longer with fewer injuries.
48 seconds to go. It's 4-1 in favor of Mark Braid from Stonewall Jackson.
Mark Braid, the score is 4-1. It seems close, but he's really been dominating this match just by cutting him off. And this is one tough turkey. Yeah, he's got that tattoo, if you can see it, and it's the Tasmanian Devil with the little guns blazing. And then he's definitely a Tasmanian Devil. It's tough.
A lot of confidence this kid has. Besides that, he has the best, as we mentioned before, written on his head.
Nobody's arguing him.
No, absolutely not.
There's a deep single. He's got his hands locked, but he's in the wrong position. He's got to have his elbow behind Mark Blade's knee if he wants to convert it.
Very much so.
Still got it, huh, buddy?
That's right. You still know your stuff, Frank.
Like, I remember I showed you your first Greco move.
That's right. 1960 what?
Yeah. Buddy Lee wrestled at Old Dominion, where he was an outstanding wrestler. He's in the Old Dominion Wrestling Hall of Fame. And your coach was Billy Martin, the brother of Stephen Martin, who's the coach at Great Bridge. And that technique that he showed you then is shining through here in the state championships some 20 years later.
Matter of fact, the technique that he showed me 10 years ago is being used to win world titles by John Smith, 4-time world champion at 136.5.
Great Bridge has a wonderful program, and unfortunately for everybody, it's just getting stronger. It's not not slowing down at all.
That's right.
We're at the 160-pound weight division, 132 to go in this third and final period. 4-1, still in favor of Mark Braid, but Dentron Eason doing all he can.
And then you see me deep on that single there, and he's right on the edge. I'm surprised, that they didn't call that out a little bit sooner. But Dentron Eastridge has got to pick it up a little bit more. He's got 1:19. There's plenty of time left in the match, buddy. What do you say that Dentron should do? Cut him loose or go ahead and try to bar him up here?
It just depends on how strong he is on top. If he's not a good turner, then he has no other choice but to let him go and try to take him down.
I think Mark Blade has got the ultimate word in everything that happens here. He just stood up and he cut loose. He's definitely either going to get one. Yeah,
no, he did. He got his one escape point, and that'll make the score 5-1. With 1:06 to go in the third period. I heard Coach Stevie Martin say, Dentron, you're losing, son.
Right, he's got to open it up, but like I said, I think Mark Blade has a lot to say about what's going on out there. He's just physically dominating the match. The score is a 5-1, but it's I don't think it's as close as the score indicates.
Yes, Mark is in control.
43 seconds.
He rolls him from there. He's done something new that we don't know about.
Yeah. But you know, to a lot of places that are not familiar with the road, it does have kind of a mystical quality to it.
It certainly does. You just knowing that it's going to happen scares a lot of people.
Right. 20 seconds.
And unless something dramatic happens, it looked like Mark.
That'll be 2 points for stalling against Dentron East.
He's just being overpowered. He's not stalling. He's just being overpowered. Dentron, and it's in the rule book about being overpowered. You know, what can you do? He's just being out-horsed here.
That's right. Very smart match.
Right.
5, 4, 3. That's going to end the match. And what was really an extremely exciting match, but nonetheless, Mark Braid is a state champion from Stonewall Jackson. He wins by a score of 7-1.
And I want to thank Buddy Lee for being with us. Good luck in the Olympics. We'll be following you. A great wrestler from Virginia, going on to do even greater things.
Thanks a lot, Frank. Good seeing you again. All right.
That's the first wrestler to win a state champion from the Northwest region or from Stonewall Jackson. We're going to go down to the 171-pound weight division. At 171, we have Jason Johnson from McLean High School in the North region. He's 61-7 overall, 35-2 this year. Scott Lancaster is the wrestler from Centerville. He'll be in the blue. And his overall record, 87-4. We might mention that Jason Johnson, second in the district in the region in 91, first in the Cavalier Christmas Tournament, first in the Great Falls District, and third in the Northern region. And that's what's coming up at 171. But first, before we get into this match, and before we talk about Scott Lancaster from Centerville, let's first go to Mickey Irvin, who's with the state champion at 160, Mark Braid.
Mark, not a lot of trouble tonight. Did it go like you expected?
Didn't go too bad. I know I've wrestled him 2 times before, and every time we wrestle, we get tougher. So I knew he was out there to beat me, and I just had to go at it as hard as I could. Glad I won, but I kind of wish I could have wrestled better. I didn't wrestle as good as I wanted to.
People who've watched ACC 40 have never seen this man lose a match. We've seen you all year. Congratulations. You cast in state champ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Mark Braid there, state champion 160. Scott Lancaster is the other wrestler we'll see from Centerville. He's a senior from the Northern region. His overall record, 87-4. He was first in the Northern District, and he was first in the Northern region. So Scott Lancaster and Jason Johnson going at it here at 171.
And this is an important match for Centerville because Centerville can move into second place with a win here. And Western Branch, I believe, doesn't have an opportunity to pull it out.
No, not at this point.
No, if Centerville can win it here, they've taken second place. So you can believe that Coach Terry Purdue is probably sitting with the cheerleaders from McLean High School pulling for Jason Johnson.
Well, so far, Frank, we've had at least one state champion from each of the regions.
That's good. It should
The
be
Eastern
balanced.
region, though, has 6, plus a pair of state champions, a pair of co-champions. Yeah, as you mentioned that Centerville has a chance here to move into second. They were in second when this thing started, but Western Branch scored 4 points and made it 84-83. So with a state championship here, Centerville High School can move into second place again behind Great Bridge.
Oh, yes. It's a big match for, even though they're not involved in this is a big match for Western Branch High School.
Minute 7 to go in the first period, no score. We've seen these Centerville wrestlers before, Frank. We haven't seen them on TV, but we saw them at the dual state tournament. They're fairly impressive.
Oh, they're fantastic. Unfortunately, they wrestled Great Bridge in the semifinals. They were by far the second best dual meet team in the state.
Right.
Definitely, they just had to hit them in the semifinals.
Well, let's say this: the second best dual team in the state in AAA, because we do have Grundy in AA.
Yeah,
that may
yes.
well be the second best.
You're right. They're ranked 4th in the nation. There's a big flurry and no points by anybody. And I think, great flurry. Great flurry.
Well, you know, we must be getting close to the heavyweights, Frank, because we got a little pacing going on. David Hall of Great Bridge, as well as Jason Edmondson, doing a little pacing over there, getting ready for their matches, which are coming up real soon.
Right, they're on guard duty, that's for sure. The way they march.
That's right. Still no points here with 10 seconds to go in the first period. Wrestler is fairly well matched. He's the first wrestler I believe we've seen from McLean High School, which is in the northern region.
Right. Normally, traditionally, the good upperweights always come from Northern Virginia. I think if you look over the records, they've had a lot of really good, a lot of state champions from the northern region.
Scott Lancaster from Centerville will take bottom as we start the second period, 171.
And a lot of these guys, these big guys are moving like two little guys. He cut him and he's going, whoa! Couple of bangers out here.
And there's a point for the Centerville wrestler. That's Scott Lancaster. Hey, I tell you what, Frank, we just saw Mark Braid hobbling around behind us being helped to a seat by his coach. He got a little injured in the celebration. He was celebrating being state champion and hurt himself. Score, by the way, is 1-0 in favor of Lancaster Centerville. He's in the blue and light blue. In the red and gray and blue from McLean High School is Jason Johnson.
These guys are banging away here. Score is just 1-0, but there's been a lot more action than 1 point. And the point indicates, the score indicates.
Wrestlers just locking each other up. 1:18 in the second period is what remains. We've got two more Great Bridge wrestlers to see. And the coach tells us, the coach from Bill Cameron from Stonewall Jackson says that his injury is nothing major, that Braid's injury is nothing major. And I'll tell you what, the score now is 1-1. Each of these wrestlers have been awarded a point. 47 seconds to go in the second period, and we're tied up again.
Oh yeah, and they're just cutting each other off completely. Getting his motion going. He's in deep. Watch that whizzer. That's what you call a whizzer on the far side. He's hitting him with his hips, bumping him right out of bounds. Ooh. No score, 1-1. 29 seconds to go.
Referee adjusts his whistle. And there we see David Hall and Jason Edmondson pacing. They're getting ready to go out on the mat.
Yeah, they are.
23 seconds in the second period. Well, I tell you what, Scott Lancaster from Centerville has humongous thighs. Look how muscular they are.
These guys are both physically exactly alike. Same height. Both got a couple of big guns on each arm. Stout. They could definitely fit the same shoes, probably the same shoe size.
Probably.
And they're wrestling exactly alike, and the score is 1-1, so everything seems to be equal.
So far, 3, 2, 1 second. That's the end of the second period, and the score remains tied. Going into the third period now, things all tied up. And if the Centerville wrestler, Scott Lancaster, can win, this will be the second. Actually, either of these wrestlers win, and of course one of them has to. That'll be the second state championship from the Northern region. Right now, Cox has more state championships than any other school. They have 2. Indian River, Western Branch, Great Bridge, Kempsville, Stonewall, Jackson, Franklin County, and Herndon each also have 1. But Cox High School right now has two state champions, more than any other school here tonight. Then
Great Bridge has 2 more shots at it.
Right, exactly.
They're not. The score's 1-1 still.
.137 to go in the third period.
Score's 1-1. Trying to shake him is what he's just a little salt and pepper. Trying to shake him here.
Well, somebody's going to have to do something. There's a lot of time left in the match. We're minute 17.
Uh-oh, he's losing his position. He comes up.
He does. There's 2 reversal points for Jason Johnson of McLean High School. And you know, I would bet these wrestlers are both from the Northern region. They may have seen each other before.
Looking at the records, it's very possible. Okay, a minute to go with a 3-1 lead, and they're not scoring a lot of points, so it's...
Still have a minute to go, and Lancaster's on top. Not Lancaster, but rather Jason Johnson is on top, and he also has a lead 3-1. Lancaster from Centerville
gets
an escape.
Yeah,
and he'll get 1 point for that. It'll be 3-2 now.
Yeah, but
still in favor of the wrestler from McLean in the red and gray. And that's Jason Johnson.
I believe there's been a warning stall in here, so it could be tied.
34 seconds.
Oh, short drag him.
28-27. Anything can happen.
They're not going to hit anybody for stall. I don't know. He's not shooting.
20 seconds. Lancaster from Centerville loses his headgear. 10 seconds.
He's just holding.
Hey, and really no stalling called with 3, 2, 1 second. That's it. That's the match. And the winner is Jason Johnson.
Should have gone overtime. Should have gone overtime.
By a score of 3-2.
Close match, though. These 2 guys, if they wrestle 20 more times, the score could be the exact, they could be 20 different scores. Great job.
What a wrestling match. I'll tell you what, coming up next is a 189-pound weight division, and we'll see Maurice Smith from Hermitage High School take on David Hall of Great Bridge, and Frank had a chance to talk to Coach Steve Martin, David Hall's coach, at 189, and he asked him what David had to do to win.
At 189, David Hall squares off with his opponent from Hermitage High School. In order for David to win this match, he's going to have to attack on his feet, attack on the bottom, and attack on top. David's been there for a long time. He's the oldest guy on my team. He's just got to go out there and do what he's been doing for his other 36 matches.
I tell you what, things are almost over. We're down to the next to the last weight division, and we'll see David Hall. He's had a great season. Steve Martin said that he had to attack on the top, attack on the bottom, and attack from his feet, and be aggressive. He was going to beat Maurice Smith from Hermitage High School from the Central Region. Maurice Smith was a 1991 Colonial District and Central Region runner-up. This year, he's a Colonial District and Central Region champion. David Hall, you know about him. He's 118-23-1, 38-0 this year is David Hall. First in the district for 3 years, first in the region for 2 years, second in the state last year, and he's a cadet All-American. And things are underway. Boy, this could prove to be a big match. I've been looking forward to this one all night.
Colonial and Central Regional champion, a senior from Hermitage High School, Maurice Smith.
Oh, David Hall is just going right out after him.
But you know, that's what his coach said he was going to have to do.
Exactly. David Hall comes in loaded to the tilt with 118 wins in his career, 38-0.
And I think this is probably the biggest match, though, of his career.
Because it's the final.
Right.
It's the final, and it's...
And he's a senior, and he's been here before,
Right.
and he says that he's been working toward it for his whole time he's been wrestling.
It's a big one, and he's just been like Wayne said, this is the oldest guy on the team. He's been on the team the longest. If anyone deserves the state championship, it's that young man right there with the blonde hair.
Well, Great Bridge still 153 points. That may change after this. Second place team, Western Branch. Since Centerville didn't win, they're still in second place with 83 points.
No, they're in third place.
Did I say second? Yeah, they're in third place.
Third place, right. So I'm sure that's a happy moment for Western Branch. They was able to, and deservedly so, end up in second place at an outstanding team all year long. And again, they're another one with 9 returning starters or guys with varsity experience. So it's going to be another great season next year. David Hall in full control there. He's just pulverized everyone he's wrestled in this tournament. He's gotten 2 pins and a technical fall.
And right now, even though he's ahead only by 2-0, he's really in full control of what's going on. 40 seconds to go in the first period. David obviously trying to get Maurice Smith on his back.
He will.
He's got to use that.
He will.
Oh, he's got his knee in the back.
24 seconds to go in the first period. We're at 189. David Hall against Maurice Smith. We've seen David Hall a lot, and he's able to get Maurice Smith on his back.
He's going to pin him.
He has only 10 seconds to do it. Maurice Smith plenty strong. And there goes David Hall racking up some back points. 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the first period. David Hall gets him where he wants it, but not enough time to pin him. That will make the score 5-0, however, in favor of David Hall. The choice this time for this round will go to for this period. We'll go to we'll go to David Hall. Actually, the winner was Maurice Smith, but he deferred, and David Hall chose to go on the bottom. There's a caution against Maurice Smith, not in the correct position.
Watch Hall come right off. Go quick turn and roll. He's high. Maurice is high, and he's going to convert it, turn him back. Oop, and watch him pancake him.
There's one escape point for David Hall.
Yeah, there it is, lateral drop.
And there's 2 points on a takedown. That'll make it 8-0 in his favor. Hey, he's got a minute 40 to pin him now.
Yeah, minute 40.
He's done.
It's over.
He's done.
Well, that out of bounds is in his side right now. All right, there he goes. Oh, he's got his arm caught. See that where his elbow caught?
Yeah.
That's the worst way to get pinned.
Why?
There's no way to bridge.
Yeah, right.
No way to get bridge. No way to bridge.
1:20 to go. David Hall could well win this state by a pin here.
Got him crossed. He's a little too high. A little too high. He overshot.
Well,
the
he
move.
will get the back points.
All right. He overshot it.
Yeah.
He overshot the move. David Hall.
That's 11-0. He could, if nothing else, he could get a technical fall.
Right,
He's
technical
got,
fall.
What's he got? 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go.
Right.
And so far, he has rendered Maurice Smith virtually unable to score.
Oh, he can't do anything. It's just like I said, he's been we call him the pulverizer, you know?
Oh, there you go.
A pulver, and he has done that. He's been pulverizing his competition all year long, but particularly he's had a fantastic state tournament. There he's got that back hook with the knee in the side. Up, his arm looks a little bit. See that? He's got the back hook. He's going to pull him across and change it.
42
pull
seconds.
Him across and change it to a pancake finish.
38 seconds. He's doing just about anything he wants to do.
Oh, he is. It's great shot. You're there, pal. Right there. Can't ask for a better shot than that. We got the best seat in the house.
27.
He's got to pull him in, though. David's inbounds. The wrestler's out of bounds. He's got to pull him forward a little bit. Nope, they call him
And they
out of
both
bounds.
and they go out of bounds. Give Maury Smith credit though. He could have been pinned a long time ago.
Next, coming up at the heavyweight.
You know it.
His name is?
I'll let you say it.
Jason Edmondson.
They
call him the Dumpster. And this is another treating, and it's another Eastern Regional final coming up at heavyweight.
16 seconds, 15 to go in the second period.
It looks like Great Bridge is well on its way to winning this, and this will put them in a tie for most champions with 2 if David Hall just continues to wrestle at this pace.
Well, that'll take us into the third period now. The score is 11-0 in David Hall's favor. Well, again, Maury Smith wins a toss, and he elects neutral.
Well, he has to elect something. Nothing else is working. That didn't work real good.
No,
Jumped
not
up
so
on
far.
it. David Hall's got good position. See that? His underhook. Okay, now watch him reach back, grab the guy's wrist. Step. He'll take a big step here. She's behind his knee. Perfect position. He'll lift him. He's in great shape there. All he's got to do is take a big step over his knee.
Minute 30 to go. Minute 25 to go. David Hall up 11-0. Certainly commanding lead, but you know David Hall would like to have a pin.
He's totally dominating this match.
And there's a stalling warning against Maurice Smith.
Yeah, and he's keeping great angles on him. He's keeping great angles on him, and that's really frustrated Maurice Smith the whole time. And Mickey Irving will talk. Oh, it says it all.
There's 2 more takedown points.
Okay, now
he looks like he may be a little injured here. That's going to make the score 13-0, so 2 back points. If he just keeps him on his back, then it's a technical fall. So either he pins him or he wins by technical fall. Either way, the match is over.
right, and it's 55 seconds. I'm interested to see what Wayne tells him, Steven tells him to do here. Steven cuts him loose. It'll be 15-1.
It's 13-0. He has 55 seconds to do what he's going to do. And I think Maurice Smith is headed for his back.
Right, if he's got to turn him. He doesn't even have to pin him. All he's got to do is turn him, and it's over with. Just tilt him. You pull him, and there across. There it is, and it's right there. And this will be a technical fall.
36 seconds.
He's going to pin him.
32 seconds. He wants to pin a Maurice Smith.
That's it.
David Hall. Referee keeping a good eye on it.
There it is.
That's it. David Hall
pin
with a pin. 23 seconds to go in the match. And he pins Maurice Smith of Hermitage High School.
Big win. Our state champion, David Hall. Deservingly so, and winning in prime fashion here in the finals.
I tell you what, Frank, coming up next at the heavyweight division, we'll see John Roberts from Deep Creek High School. Frank had a chance to talk to his coach, David Ola.
Well, John's got to be real aggressive, and he's got to pressure his opponent. John does better when he goes after a lot of doubles and high single legs. Edmondson does a lot of underhooks and tries to keep his opponent in the boundary, and he'll just basically try to stall or get out and score a close decision. In the district, John lost in overtime to Edmondson by 4-2, and he lost in the regional by 1 point. Basically, John was wrestling Edmondson's style, but I think if he is more aggressive and goes for his double legs, I think he can win.
Rather, Frank, that wasn't, of course, that wasn't David Ola, rather Steve Culpepper, his assistant coach, gave some words for John Roberts. Before we talk about Jason the Dumpster Edmondson, let's go over to Mickey Irving, who's with David Hall, the state champion, at, at 189.
You've been waiting for this since last year. Been building up, and you just exploded out there tonight. Tell us what's going on in your mind during the match.
I just knew that this had to be my time. I've been working hard for this. And last year I got second, Vogel beat me. And I was determined to come out here and win it. I tried my best. I had some tough guys. I tried my best and I beat them.
Congratulations to David Hall, the state champ. No surprise, the man finishes the season undefeated. Congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot, Mickey. And before we go to the heavyweight division match, let's go to Frank's conversation with Steve Martin about what Jason the Dumpster Edmondson has to do to beat John Roberts.
At heavyweight, Jason the Dumpster Edmondson squares off with John Roberts from Deep Creek. In order for Edmondson to win this match, he has to stay in his underhook position on his feet and push this man for 6 solid minutes. We're looking for fatigue to set in the last period. Edmondson also has to get up off the bottom very quickly, and he has to ride his opponent once he gets on top of him. It's all going to be in how determined he is.
And there you see the sign, folks, the Dumpster.
They call him the Dumpster.
Wildcats are number 1, and indeed they appear to be.
There he is. The Dumpster's got his fan club here at, and it's all decided. Great Bridge has run away with the state championship. Only thing that Great Bridge has to do is try to land one more state champion. But I tell you what, the state champion at heavyweight will be from the Southeastern District.
Yeah,
that's for
no
sure.
question about that. Boy, these guys are really going hard after each other. John Roberts is determined. Look at him.
Right. Now, Steve Martin said that the Dumpster definitely has to stay in his underhooks. They knew that. Steve Culpepper knew that, and they were going to just really cut him loose and wrestle him in a real aggressive
Hey,
style.
there's 2 takedown points for John Roberts at Deep Creek High School.
Right, and that's what John's doing. He's using his size and athletic ability just to keep the pressure on. Now, they also said, Stephen Martin, that they can take it to the 3rd period. They feel that the Dumpster's conditioning will play a big...
will take over.
Will take over late in the match.
John Roberts' coach, Steve Culpepper, said that he had to be aggressive and he had to avoid those underhooks.
Right.
And, of
He's
course...
cut him loose. They're just going... It's important that he builds up a lead here. Let's see if he can keep that dominance. Now, the Dumpster is just going to keep trying to drop the load on him and make him carry his weight and poop him out. And then run him over with those big tires of his.
Tell you what, 2-1 is the score with 1:14 to go in the first period in favor of John Roberts of Deep Creek High School. John Roberts, no slouch. He was 2nd in the Raleigh, North Carolina tournament. He was 2nd in the district this year, 2nd in the region, and both of those behind Jason Edmondson. Wrestlers go out of bounds, and they come back in with 56 seconds to go in the first period.
They're going to try to throw a lot of Russians, underhooks and Russians on John Roberts, and that's what it's doing, but it doesn't amount to many points, but it does slow down the pace of the match and give the Dumpster a chance to get his game plan working for him. And that's what you're seeing here, just kind of slowing things down. It's 2-1, it's only a 1-point lead. Dumpster shots are straight at him. He needs to get more of an angle. I want to thank all our wonderful guests that we've had during the state tournament.
Jason Edmondson tries to take down John Roberts, unable to do so with 12 seconds to go in the first period. 2-1 is the score in favor of Roberts of Deep Creek. That's the end of the first period.
You can see
down by 1.
Well, see, I don't know if you could see, but up in the top of your screen, Stephen Martin was showing the Dumpster to underhook and put his head in his chest to keep that angle.
We might mention John Roberts is a senior, and Jason Edmondson is a junior.
There's the Dumpster's concentration. One knows about it far and wide. Here comes Robert. Oh, trying to throw a cradle from that kind of what they call freestyle start, with to put the hands up on the back. But most time you think he was going to cut him loose, but he didn't do anything but try to flatten those big tires at the Dumpster.
1:44 to go.
Now, Roberts has got to move up. He can't just hold that position. Stand up. The Dumpster's up. See if he can cut. No, out of bounds.
He does not get the escape.
He's looking okay. The Dumpster's guy looks like his condition's holding up. John Roberts is just keeping his composure, too. He doesn't look tired.
No, but I tell you what, he did run back to the middle of the mat the first time they went out of bounds. This time he's taking his time.
Right. Maybe it is. It's just the second period, too. He is moving a little slower.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit slower than he was to start with. Trying to conserve his energy, probably.
Well, this is a very big match. He's coming up. Dumpster's not in good position. He could get thrown right here. John Roberts is in position for a little head throw or a pancake finish. See if he can lift him up. He's just hanging there. He can't do that either. John's got to come up. He's all right. Now the
there's an
score's tied.
escape point. That'll tie things up in 2 with a minute 4 to go in the second period.
Right. Now you got to see John's got to open things back up here, or he'll get called for stalling. The Dumpster is just a junior. And I tell you what, having a heavyweight in the room that has any ability at all is big. But having a heavyweight back that's placed in the state tournament that's a good hard worker is even better. Right. And you've got, a guy that's a leader, and he'll be one of the leaders on the team this year just because of his size.
33 seconds in the second period. Things are all tied up at 2. The wrestlers will return. You might wonder, Jason Edmondson was first in the district this year, first in the region. You might wonder why he hasn't won any titles before this year. Because he wasn't the usual wrestler last year. Brother Mike Washington was the heavyweight wrestler, and he's running track. He's been running track.
They were back and forth. No, Dumpster was in the lineup. But see, heavyweights are normally by attrition.
Right.
The oldest guy. But the heavyweight, the Dumpster did get a lot of matches in and did start as a junior. And just because you're a big guy and you make the team, just by attrition, you're now the big guy on the block. Right. Little guys hate that, You've just been around, you're going to be real well. With the little guys, there's so many of them. You don't have to have the athletic, the wrestling skill to be a good heavyweight, that you have to be a good little guy.
Tell you what, I said Mike Washington ran track. Not many heavyweights run track. Actually, he's a shot putter. In fact, he's up in Northern Virginia this weekend at the state indoor track tournament.
Right.
Minute 42 in the third period. Things still all tied up at 2. There's a stalling warning against Jason Edmondson.
That's tough. These are big guys. They are hard to keep down. And all he's got to do, it's a minute 30 to go. The Dumpster has to take him to the mat, but he's got to be going for a pinning combination. Well, he's got to trip him. Got to try to trip him right. He's trying to take him to the mat.
Minute 22, minute 25 rather. Tell you what, these two big guys start going toward the cheerleaders and they get out of the way.
Now, what you got here, you got to just, the Dumpster size is now working against him. Because John Roberts, all he's got to do is just keep coming up. He doesn't even have to score. I think you'll see them hit the Dumpster with a stalling call, only because it's a size difference here. It's not that he's not trying to wrestle. It's just that he just can't take this big guy back to the mat.
Go out of bounds, and they'll come back to the center of the mat with a minute 7 to go into third period. Things are all tied up. And Chris Smith, the assistant coach.
They're going to cut him loose. They're going to cut him loose.
Tells Jason Edmondson to let him up. And indeed, that's what he's going to do.
Oh, that's good. Now they're going to go, they're pooping him out. They're pooping him out.
All right, with that one escape point puts John Roberts
they're
up
going on
with
his conditioning.
With 58 seconds to go. Now he's up by 1 again.
See if they hit. You got to go ahead and get him. See if they're they're pushing for is the stalling call. 45 seconds. And he's backing up. John Roberts is backing up to see if they go ahead and hit him for it. I don't know if there's not 36 seconds to go. No. See what they do. They'll hit it real quick if they do.
32 seconds. John Roberts up by 1 with 29 seconds to go.
Okay, there he hits it.
And now there's a stalling warning against John Roberts. They've both been warned now. So the next thing that's going to happen, some points will be awarded. 25 seconds to go. 21 seconds to go. John Roberts up by 1.
It's a tough call for a heavyweight to make here. He's got to get him to go forward. 14 seconds.
10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. It's over. John Roberts, the heavyweight state champion, by a score of 3-2.
Tough call. Tough call. Tough call. The dumpster will be heard from again.
Oh, yes, he's
John Roberts.
He'll be back.
Did a great job. He's the state champ. Jason Edmondson, nothing to be ashamed of. He does a good job, too. They'll both be heard from again. Roberts is a junior. The dumpster is just, Roberts is a senior. The dumpster is just a junior. Big win for John Roberts, the heavyweight champion from Deep Creek High School.
Tell you what a match, what a state championship meet here. We've had a great time. Mickey Irving is out on the floor right now, and he'll be talking to John Roberts, the state champion in the heavyweight division. Mickey?
Big man, tough match. Looked like you were a little winded at the end. Were you holding on?
No, not really. Usually I'm not psyched up because he's my buddy and every day. I'm not really psyched up. But this time I got really psyched up for him. And I know his game was stalling game. He let it stall you out. But I gave him my best. I played it smart.
Congratulations to the state champion, John Roberts. How's that sound to you?
Great.
All right, the man did it from Deep Creek. Back to you guys at the table. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, Mickey. And the Great Bridge team will be gathering now. Let's recap now what's been going on and who the state championship or who the state champions are. And as you see those state champions out on the mat, let's talk about quickly who won. Brian Miller of Kempsville is a state champion at 103 by a score of 5-3 over Keno Shepherd. Double default at 112. The Mikowitz brothers, since they both default, really technically, Mickey, they're really in second. It's 2 second-place finishes, but we'll call them co-champions just because we want to.
And I tell you, that was something sitting up there with the father, because he was just as proud if they would have, both gone out there to a draw like they did last time.
Right.
He was very excited.
I can imagine. At 119, it was a pin and exciting match by Jason Denton with 3:19 to go. He pinned Morrell Elam, and he became the 119-pound weight champion.
What about that guy? I mean, he was one of the most impressive guys here this weekend.
He's got a future. He'll be one of those guys about 3 or 4 years from now. We'll be interviewing him because he's going to the Olympics. At 125, Morrell Reeves beat Tommy Clater of Stonewall Jackson by a score of 7-1. Morrell Reeves of Western Branch High School then becomes state champion at 125. At 130, Chip Collier from Cox High School beats Brett Thompson of Western Branch in the last 10 seconds by a score of 5-4 to become the state champion at 130. At 135, Dan Austin won 7-5 in overtime over Israel Gilbert from Franklin County. And there you see the team, the Great Bridge High School, or most of the team, minus the state wrestlers. Dan Austin won 7-5 in overtime at 140. Mark Strickland, we just saw him. I think we saw him.
Was that Mark Strickland?
I think it was Mark Strickland. He said it was.
Okay.
He went 7-5 over Chris Sabo in quite an exciting match. Ali Day was the champion from Herndon at 145. At 152, McFadden in a rather exciting match over Jamie Kelly.
two great guys as well as an outstanding match. You know, you didn't know who to root for in that one.
Absolutely. And McFadder beats Jamie Kelly 9-5. In 160-pound weight division, Mark Braid puts on another clinic for us, and he beats Dentron Eason 7-1.
Pound for pound, maybe the best wrestler in the state.
Jason Johnson from McLean beats Scott Lancaster of Centerville 3-2 in another exciting match. David Hall, the state champion, with a pin with 23 seconds to go at 189. And in the heavyweight division, we saw it just a few moments ago, John Roberts of Deep Creek High School, he wins 3-2.
It's official, the 1992 Virginia State champions is Great Bridge High School. Coach, a great performance by your team.
Yeah, we came here ready to wrestle this weekend, and we did about as good as we could have.
You returned 6 state place winners to next year's team.
We turned 6, and better watch out for next year, boy, because we're going to be tough.
All right, 2 state champions right here with us. David Hall gets a pin in the final.
Well, I just worked hard, and I got what I was dreaming for, state championship.
Okay, and we have another state champion around here somewhere. Here it is. This Mark Strickland. I don't know if you know this, but I was calling you the surgeon all afternoon. So
I'm Mark Strickland.
There it is. See, I don't show you how much I know. Great match. Really took him apart. It's a tough one.
I appreciate it. Just tried my best. I mean, tried my best.
You call him the professor. He has such a way with words.
Tried my best. I mean,
the Great Bridge had 5 in the finals. They had 2 champions. A great performance from everyone, from the dumpster right on down. I tell you what, when you've got a great returning team, the bad news is, what are we going to do with these guys? I think we maybe should move them up to the college level next year with those returning starters. I'm going to tell you this right now. Next year's Virginia Duels has already been set. In the opening round, it's Great Bridge against Grundy. And that's who the matchup is, so something to look forward to. You better start running, guys. The state champs, 1992, Great Bridge High School. All right!
And finally, what does that mean?
That means Great Bridge probably broke a record.
It means we're almost done. But first, before we do that, let's talk about who won. Who won the state championship? Well, we know that Great Bridge was a state dual team champion, and we also know now that they are the state champion in the individual meet. Great Bridge is in first place, and they win with 159 points. Centerville in second place, in third place with 83. Overtaking them was Western Branch with 84 points, and really after that, even though a lot of teams did very well and worked very hard, it's really inconsequential.
But still, a great show here today from this nice complex here at the Arthur Ashe Center. Great place to hold this event.
Sure is, and Frank, that's just going to about do it. It's been quite a season. Are you Frank?
Was that Mark Strickland?
Are you Mark Strickland?
Mark
I thought you were Jamie Kelly. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
really.
I get confused.
If they don't have headgear on, I can't recognize them. I tell you that right now.
I see that.
Are you
see that.
Hey. Oh, he's got a hold on me now. I can't move.
Frank, it's been quite a season.
It has been that. You can't ask for more than the things that we've had. We brought you the Great Cox Western Branch match, and the Great Bridge, the Great Bridge Western Branch match of the regional championships, and now the dual meet championships and the state championships. I want to thank you guys for putting up with me and having me part of the team. And it's the last one. Frank, I want to thank everyone out there for your support and your phone calls.
Frank, believe me, thanks are not enough. At any rate, I'm just kidding. Thanks a lot for being with us, Frank. Thanks for all your help.
Ever show you the fish hook? Like
oh, God. Hey, now Frank's sticking his fingers in people's mouths. I'm getting out of here. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to Sports Beat 40. A lot of other sports on the way.
Thank you very much.